Good song. Shall we got time for one joke? We got time for one joke. Yo, I have a joke my first time. Go on then, what is it? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, I'm done. No more. It's happened. It's over.
You feel my pain. My soul is yours. Two souls the same. With you I'm everything. You never asked me to change a thing. They set our world on fire, but our hearts will burn.
No happening, chat. No happening.
I see your beauty shine. You radiate with light. Our hearts dancing blind. You're one of a kind. Stars shining with us. Your fire is contagious. I feel the moon on our skin. Love glows out.
Wake up in the morning feeling like
What the fuck? What the fuck? What? What? What the fuck? Damn, Vetty shirt looks fire.
Honestly, maybe Yike is just the best jungler in Europe. Is he?
He is. That's not maybe, he is.
He is. I mean, come on. This was a situation where Fnatic was regaining
Guy's name is Tito, and he says, "Damn, I spilled my water, OM."
A couple of times, but he said absolutely
Bro, that
not.
caught me
He
off
sent
guard.
the dogs in.
Yeah, I mean, he's already gotten to pick up Mickey as well, just with a couple of those dogs as well. And then with the Baron, I mean, it's a rough position currently for Fnatic. It's desperation at this point. They have to go for it. They don't have the tools to zone Yike as well, so it has to be a 50-50.
I cannot give any fault to Fnatic. You usually want to send one person to zone off the dog outside of the pit,
This
but right
guy
now...
don't miss
He
domestically.
doesn't.
And this is just one of these smite steals that just seals the game, because from this on, I think in 3-4 minutes, they just closed out the game and it was just clean.
What are they gonna do? They can't run away either. Like, it's just okay, enemy of Baron, you know.
It was sick to see. I have no way to talk to my producer, but I think we're on program, so we don't actually can't see program on currently on the analyst desk. But that's all right. Don't worry about it at home. Sick from Yike, and I think those are the kind of performances where you know, that's what makes an impactful clutch player. And I mean, Skewmund even said it. You brought it up, right? It's why he ranked him so highly in his tier list of junglers, so to say.
Because his consistency is just so good, and it's not even about the early game, it's just whatever he provides for the team in general is just amazing. Just playmaking, setting up his carries for success, and even individual carry performance and clutch moments like these are just something that Yike just consistently does nowadays.
Yeah, but it's also just the context, right? This guy's champion pool is just expanding. We came from a draft where there was 7 jungle bans. Yike had to find the pick of the litter after Wukong had been picked on 4.
And I mean,
dogs lick, I guess.
They do lick, they do lick.
And I hated the Nafiri. I thought he was not going to do anything, but he made it work.
Exactly, and I think that really speaks to his strength as a player, the fact that he is capable of pulling out a performance after all these things have been put against him.
I'm glad you owned it up, because my God, they were hating the Nafiri. They said this isn't gonna work, this draft isn't gonna work out, and it did. But I think, Odo, you want to take a closer look at the top lane, like really, really in depth, because there was some hoodwinkery up there.
He sealed the deal. So the Nafiri, I hated it, but it's just because you had such a god in the top lane, such a power pick within the Jace, it was insane. Because starting now with this laning phase, he gets the war level 1. And for me, this laning phase just was pixel perfect, no mistake. Every time Oscar is walking up, Kana is in a position to just punish him, and now he's just taking over the lane, gets a great W trade, and now Oscar will sure make some mistakes, but the fact that the laning phase starts and 30 seconds in, Dambessa is 1 HP, losing gold, losing plates soon enough, and being behind in XP, this is just something amazing to witness, because
That is crazy.
Kana made no mistake at all. He's playing so safe, respecting the jungle timers. Yike is also here at the critical moment to keep punishing the top lane. And from this on, now it's just been constant snowball.
Yeah, for Oscar's profile, this was probably a horror movie.
I mean, it absolutely was, but he picked into this as well.
Yeah.
This was the first pick Jays. When is Kana going to get the respect he deserves on this champion? And it gets worse because now he's just capable of taking all the plates away with Demolish.
And yeah, after this is going to be a big blunder from Oscar, because now he's bleeding in the lane. He's asking for help. The Wukong will come and gank soon. But after this, a big mistake will happen where Kana is just going to be TPing bot, and then Dambessa just starts falling behind super hard. Because at this point, Kana is 20 CS ahead. Ambessa is going to be like, oh, I'm going to TP top.
This TP
It's
bot
fine,
was
I have a
GG.
freeze. But Kana just gets ahead of the play, TP's bot, zones the enemy bot lane, 1v2, freezes. And now Oscar, after this, he has to do the walk of shame to the bot lane. And if you look at the CSD, it's already incredibly high. It's
The
only going to
freeze
get
bot
higher.
chat, I told you.
And Kana just
The freeze.
puts on a masterclass
He
performance.
smurfed it. I mean, how much we kind of talk about Yike, I think, is correct, because you gotta, in the clutch moments, perform.
The
but
good
he
news, chat,
laid the
is that EU
foundation for this blue house that
doesn't
we saw
rock
in
up the
this
world
game.
and get
I mean,
fisted by
absolutely,
Jace,
and I
because
think
we get
that
fisted
what's
by the
makes
Jace
KC
domestically
so
now, so
scary
we're
in
more
general
prepared
right
for
now.
Worlds.
You can pick any player right now, and they seem scary on the Rift. So yeah, really difficult to play against Karma and Cole.
It is, and maybe that is why. Was it forced errors then from Fnatic? Because until they kind of picked off a couple of members of KC, I didn't know what I was watching. They seemed so disconnected from each other. They didn't seem on the same page at all. There were useless deaths. There was, I don't know, man. And on top of that, right?
Thoughts on mayonnaise?
You have, if we're talking about foundations
Mayonnaise
anyway,
is the worst
I think
sauce
back to
condiment
last week,
ever made.
They had the issues versus SK. They
It
needed
is
this to be a confidence game.
If you
This
like
is how the
mayonnaise,
game
you've
goes.
been
And then they
brainwashed.
get some semblance of power back, and then
Fresh.
Yike slams it. I think that's hard for anyone to deal with.
That's a tilde.
That's definitely a tilter, and it's, as you said, it's back to the drawing board, because even though in this game I prefer the draft, it's just it gets the deal gets sealed quite quickly early in the game, just from the fact that the Ambessa counterpick just wasn't doing enough. And for me, I want to see a little bit more lane power, especially in the top lane, because Kana for me is the guy to watch and is the guy to shut down on K-Corp, because every time K-Corp is getting ahead, it's through him having a good matchup that impacts not even necessarily in the early game, but going into the mid and late game.
I mean, I think for me, that's playing to a weakness. I want to see them play to a strength. I want to see them play for Upset and Mickey. I want to see them try and pressure the KC bot lane, because I do believe that Fnatic's bot lane has the capabilities of doing so.
I think it's something that you set up before we got into this match of the week, right? Upset used to be on KC, now Kalista is there, but it's kind of an afterthought right now in this best of because of the pressure Kana has set. But we know in Fearless, things can change very much on a whim, right? So what have to be the active changes that Fnatic make? The winning lane, you agree. So all on bot, all ganks bot, all setups bot?
I would say so, but it has to start with Oscar picking a bit of a neutralizer champion, and especially now on blue side, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you get forced into this position where you won't get the power pick. You need to pick something that is going to be able to survive the onslaught of Kana.
Is there one?
Look at
for
Shox's
him versus
TikTok, I
Kana?
saw it.
Hey, you know, listen, every time in doubt, you can
saw
just
it.
pick Asante and everything's going to
That's
be going
true.
okay, you know? It was Kana's best champion, so now
Listen,
I'm
Oscar, you need to
the onus
bounce
is
the
again on
fuck
Kana.
back
What
from
can
that
you pick
game.
up new to keep, you know, beating up on this top lane, on this big hole in Fnatic's game plan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much else. I think for me, still the bot lane. I mean, I don't want to repeat Odoamne at all whatsoever, but I mean, it is
Yeah, who
scary,
would
and I
wanna?
think you can't really do anything against Kana. I think that is the answer. He's the better top laner.
Okay, he is the better top laner for now, casters.
For now.
Oh, for now.
Question?
Yeah.
Or reality?
I mean, it's reality.
Yeah, it's reality.
Yeah, it's
you're right,
100%.
Sharks. You're 100% right.
I mean, maybe in the future, Oscar winning will be better than Kana.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Oscar had a phenomenal winter. I
Yeah.
really think he played super well. But in this matchup, in particular, Kana is kind of making fun of him. And we'll see how the matchup shifts. Because remember, now that Casey's on the red
I
side,
saw them bend by.
Kana can just get counterpick.
That is true. I mean, but Oscar had counterpick last game, Betty, and that didn't seem to work.
You're quite
so
right, yes.
Obviously, counterpicks are overrated.
Potentially.
Yeah, that's how that works.
We shall see how things pan out as we enter the pick and ban.
That we do. Fnatic with another wake-up call after their series against SK last week. Now game one against Carmine Core. They seem to have slept through so many. It's like
Yikes,
snoozing
self-ban.
your alarm clock in the morning, you know? Just 5 more minutes, please, guys. 5 more minutes. We'll wake up for the next game. Well, hopefully they wake up for this one as Carmine Core took them to the cleaners in game 1. We have the Maokai, the Yone, and the Kalista banned away by Fnatic. Rumble and
Skarner ban?
Vi removed by Carmine
Or is it
Core.
time for the Yike?
And we'll see where
The Yike
they go
Ivan
with
into
their
Skarner.
final ban. Skarner is the one that immediately springs to mind. We saw that banned out by Fnatic in game 1.
I'm surprised Gwen isn't higher on the list. But yeah, it's just going to be another Skarner ban. So they're really looking to pinch this pool. Will Fnatic just insta-lock Sejuani is my question. I think it's a good
What about
pick.
Gwen?
I think that when in doubt, you can just slam
What
a
about
tank
Gwen?
jungler.
Just sedge it out.
Yep, just sedge it out.
And then if you do want to pick the Gwen, if it's not picked by Carmine Corp, you get that double melee synergy as
That's what
well.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Nope, Zyra
Zyra.
instead.
I don't trust Zyra anymore.
I
don't
trust
trust
Yike to
Zyra
play
either.
Mundo.
So that's part of the reason
Yeah.
too. I
Porky
think
time?
that teams have gotten really good at figuring out what's good into Zyra, and so first picking it, I think runs a lot of risks, which, as you rightly said, Dr. Mundo, I think is a great pick into it. And I have seen some people asking why, and the
Imagine they
really
went
easy answer is Mundo is a stat
Porky, Leona,
check
Mundo on
champion.
3.
Yeah.
He just
Or
generates
Ashe
so
is-
much
oh my god,
health
Ashe is such
that
a
you
good
basically
champion
need to
ever.
do more damage than he can regenerate health, and mages can't really do that, which is why Zyra, even with her plants and her burning, like, it really doesn't phase Mundo very much, and he can ignore her roots because
he
of his
goes where
passive.
he pleases.
Exactly. So it's quite a good matchup for the Mundo. Ashe going to be the lock-in though for Kalist. Ashe mixed in terms of priority, I would say.
Both
I
of
feel
them.
like there was some changes
Why?
to her not that
Can't
long
they just
ago
take Jhin
that
here?
kind of
Isn't
made
Jhin
her
so good
playing
for
fields,
Fnatic?
I would say a little bit weaker
Yeah.
than what it was, but still a strong AD carry, especially depending on what support it's paired up alongside.
I am interested to see Ashe and Corki picked this early though. You've got double ADs already. You're
Yeah.
already indicating that Corki's going to go into the mid lane. You could
either,
play
maybe.
Ashe support.
It's Jin time,
It's been
baby.
a while.
I'm
A lot
assuming
weaker
AD
than it used to
carry.
be.
and
I
then-
assume AD carry as well.
Please pick Jhin.
Rel is going to be the pick into it from Mickey, but I expected a jungler, is what I'm saying basically. I wonder if Carmine Corp will leave that jungler for, well, R3.
Don't pick MF. Oh my god,
We'll
man.
see
I feel
if
like
that's
Jin
where
is
they
so
go.
good.
Miss Fortune.
Go
Now
Braum.
looking for
The
upset.
last time
Go
we saw
Braum.
misfortune for Fnatic,
Big Braum.
ironically,
Braum.
was
Take
game
the free win.
5 against Fnatic versus KC in the semi-finals of Winter. And that one did not go quite the way that they
I don't like Braum
wanted.
and Zyra that
Ice
much,
won
but
on it earlier today, so it's a good pick
surely
again,
against
Eddie.
MFRL
how
with
that
Ashe Braum,
works.
you're just
I
winning the
mean,
game, aren't you?
I'm sure that's not their logic.
Oh my god, I just nutted.
But, I mean, in terms of powerful laners, I think it does do a very good job. You've got already great wombo combo teamfight potential, and now they just need a little bit more engage, I would say.
I would
potentially
ban
either to follow up on
Smolder
the
or
Rel
some shit,
to
or
provide an
Tristana
alternate
maybe.
option so that you're not
Or-
solely reliant on the Rel.
I agree with that. I do think, like, playing
What's a good
Rel
ban?
MF into Braum, I'm not a very happy camper if I'm the
Yep.
Rel in that lane. You jump in, you immediately CC'd, the Unbreakable comes up, so your Misfortune can't actually do any damage to the enemy AD
Are they
carry.
gonna ban Gwen
It's going to be
Sejuani?
a tricky sequence of events down towards that bottom lane. Does mean
Ooh, you
that
know what
Fnatic
kinda
gets ban
slaps
out some
on
of those
4?
junglers
I
if
don't
they
like it,
want.
actually, never
K'Sante
mind.
and Gwen, the first two bans
I was thinking
in
of a
this second
Jarvan.
phase.
You know, the thing that Braum also does is, like, I saw the K'Sante ban, I see
It's
the
gotta
Gwen
be
ban,
Mundo on
immediately I'm,
4.
thinking, like,
It's
oh,
gotta
this
be
could a
Mundo
Fnatic
or Lilia.
Ornn game.
No,
But
it
then
can't.
Braum
Jax
makes the
K'Sante
Ornn
ban.
that much harder. So, what direction do you go as the top pool
Oh,
continues
but
to get
Sejuani does go
pinched?
really hard on 4.
Jax being taken away. I think the reason
Sejuani
why
does
Gwen
go
is so
crazy hard on
valuable
4. Lilia is so
because
bad.
of
I don't like
AP
Lilia
top
at all.
laners, which means that Rumble probably.
Bro,
Also,
just
the Nidalee
slam a
ban, they're
Sejuani,
attacking
I do
jungle,
it.
But you've got to remember that Rumble is still up.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
You
It's
could just
banned.
go Rumble and then tank
Rumble's
jungle
banned.
or scaling jungle
Yeah,
like
you
the
could
Ivan
do
that
like
you were talking
a,
about.
like a
Sejuani
Rumble
is-
Sejuani, Rumble Amumu, if you really want like AP jungler.
Yeah, but Oscar playing into the Rumble, what do you pick?
What other
Great.
AP
I-
junglers are
we
there?
have seen
Brent?
Oscar
I don't
Galio
like
already.
Brent though.
But the thing is, they don't even have to pick Rumble
Bro,
now.
Sedge
Yeah,
goes
true.
crazy
They
in
can
this
just
comp,
wait.
yike, I'm not gonna lie.
It depends how concerned you are about it.
Oh, he went
Brand,
Brent.
okay, I was
Okay.
wondering if we'd see Brand again. He was buffed on 25.07, the patch that we are playing on live patch.
Oh, he got
And I
buffed.
did
It's clear,
think-
right?
Yeah, I did. It was the passive damage,
Yeah,
I believe.
so his
was
clear
increased.
speed
Yeah,
was
his
it.
clear speed is increased. Yeah, 100%
Ooh,
right.
Victor is okay,
But I
yeah.
was wondering if we'd start to see it a
Nar?
little bit again.
Is it an
'cause
Oscar win in
was
Nar? It is.
a favorite
Come
of
on,
many
Kana.
junglers.
Pick
before it
Camille
got
and Headshot.
relatively nerfed. Vixer and Nar, the final two picks.
I
for
trust
Fnatic.
you.
So I mean, Fnatic have a very safe and solid
Or Aatrox.
team fight composition. Ooh,
I don't like
Kana's-
Aatrox, actually. actually.
Hovering the Aatrox. Please don't
Yasuo.
do Yasuo. I do.
Yeah, but it's Karna's Yasuo.
Yeah,
Yasuo
I still don't
into
like
MF,
it.
Zyra?
I really don't like the Yasuo.
But you have another Wind Wall, Eddie.
Yeah.
Chat, I'm gonna run ads. If you don't want ads, you can use the tier 1 on Twitch Prime and
Casey's
Hunt channel. I'm gonna want to back to against because
Very little engage.
I don't like the
I
brand,
would
you know.
even say that they don't have really any engage.
I don't like the brand.
Yeah.
The brand.
Do you constitute that as engage?
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree.
I can understand, you know, I think it is an engage tool.
Sure.
I wouldn't count it as a primary.
Like, I think of it as a way to, like, get picks
Yeah,
or,
but
like...
how do you... If you're going to kill
this is
someone,
live-
then
this is
you
live
have
patch.
to engage.
I don't
onto
fuck
them.
with it, chat.
Okay, well then, let's align on my definition of engage, and
Okay.
then you can tell me if you
Sure.
agree or not. So, when I think of engage, I think of a medium with which a fight
can begin.
that allows champions to do what they want to do.
Okay, so if you want to pick people,
Yeah.
you can use Ash Arrow.
Yeah, 100%.
So you engage in a fight.
I don't know if I agree with
If
that.
you engage in warfare, you are trading shots.
Okay, yes.
We'll see if Fnatic can trade some shots in this game, Betty, as it's game 2 of this best of 3. Carmine Corp with minimal engage, as we said. Fnatic with a lot more, very solid team fight if they can get towards that stage, but in game 1, it was all about the top lane. Kana having a massive lead over Oscar in here. Oscar on his Gnar, a little bit more comfortable, has range, but Kana did decide to pick the Aatrox into it.
And I think that the Aatrox can be a fantastic matchup for Kana. Something that we saw from Casey at the end of winter was that they want Kana to have agency. It's really important that he's in a position where he can be a carry. But the reason why I harped on about the engage comments is because when I look at Fnatic's comp, I think that Rel and Meganar really set up for what Fnatic want to do.
Yeah.
Victor's damage is a lot of AoE, likes to hit lots of people with his Chaos Storm and with his Death Ray. Upset wants to get a beautiful bullet time across the entire KC lineup.
That is true.
And Razork, it's much easier for him to follow up when the engage has already come through, providing a lot of zone control for his team. So he's got 2 forms of CC
Mods
in
do the
both
gamba.
the
Mods do the
Rel
thing.
Crash Down plus Ultimate, plus the Mega Gnar in order to start these
Mods
fights
do the
off,
thing.
and Fnatic have a good composition to follow. KC's composition, they don't really have the utility to get a huge amount of value out of Brand Ultimate. Aatrox doesn't really have much to follow up on.
Sure.
He just kind of has to walk at them menacingly. And while
I
the
think
Ash Arrow
KC
may
can lose
connect
this
onto
game.
a single target,
I'm
how
not
do you
sold.
then deal with
I think
all the
the
other
best
things
thing
that
they
are
have going
gonna
for them
stop
is
you
their
from
bot
approaching,
matchup is crazy.
Which, is
Their bot
why am
matchup
I
is crazy
concerned
good.
for KC?
I 100% understand that and can agree with you, especially since it's here in the LEC, low engage compositions, we tend to struggle with them a little bit.
That's true.
You know, Carmine Core have been playing exceptionally well, and if there's any team in the LEC right now that I would trust to play a composition like this, it would be Carmine Core.
That's fair. Let's see how they do. When we look at early laning phases, you expect Oscar to actually have early push in this matchup towards the top side of the map. Aatrox has very long cooldowns, which means it's just very difficult for him to really trade in the early laning phase. So once he gets a few levels under his belt, he can start to be a lot more aggressive. Meanwhile, on the
Bot
bot
matchup
side
really good
of
for
the
KC.
map, Braum, if
Bro,
you ever connect that Q, you
mods
just
propaganda
generate
now.
so much pressure.
Old
And with
matchup good,
Ashe
top
slow
matchup
and
losing a
passive,
little bit
that
early.
makes it that much harder
Mid
to have to
matchup
deal with.
losing
Right now, the
early.
race for level 2 is on.
It's just so hard. Mickey and Targamas will hit level 2 first, go in with the Shadowing Strike. Targamas
Shield
the
up.
one locked up and ignited,
Upset
but
loses
Upset
cleanse
needs to
here.
get away from these concussive blows, has the cleanse. Kalist trading
Heal down.
back well.
Mickey no ignite.
Supports health
Mickey
for
no
AD
ignite.
carries health.
Well, that was a decent number of summoner spells traded, but ultimately it wasn't
Crazy that
win
Daddy
for
started
KC's
Doran's
bot
playing
lane
this
2
lane.
versus
Holy.
2. While they
I
do
have to go Doran
have
shield versus
the
Victor?
pressure
No.
in terms of the push, you can see Fnatic gaining push in the top lane and also in the mid. So this time around, Fnatic having a lot more laning agency compared to what we saw in game 1.
Definitely are. You can see Mickey here body blocking those Winter's bites as well, making sure he's the one taking the damage, because of course when you crash down you get that shield. Humanoid and Vladdy trading in the mid lane. Humanoid coming out on top of that. The Siphon Power, that Q, when you get that shield back, makes it so much easier to trade. Obviously, don't want to stand in the Gatling gun for too long because of the resist shred, but it's all right for Humanoid so far. Wave not in the best of spots.
The
Oscar
thing's up.
in as
Do the gamba.
Kana will jump forward. Inferno Chain's
Kana's
dodged,
kinda blasting
just
him.
walks out of it immediately. Oscar puts the ward in and realizes, yep, Yike
Yes,
was
isn't the best,
looking
though.
for me, but Kana again has that
Like
wave
KC
in
bot
a
lane's
very
also losing a little bit to this
spot for
MF
the
rel. I thought they would stomp them.
Just
I
realized
guess the
that
level
we're
2
in a
diff is
Brand
painful.
versus Zyra matchup again, which
Yeah.
was
And
the
Yike's gonna have the
jungle matchup,
flash.
I think summer last year.
And Yike's gonna have to flash.
Yes, he is, because the problem with this matchup.
Yeah,
will be
Fnatic,
Brand
much better
getting
game
a hold of
already.
my tongue.
Oh, Mickey.
Mickey does mount up, then crashes
That-
down. Make it rain
that
for the
worth it?
slow. Flash forward.
Okay,
Target's
double
looking for a little
flash
bit more.
spot.
Mickey just out of auto range for Kalist. Flashes burnt across the board.
Double flashes
So we have
bot.
decided there will be no summoners in the bot lane. Kalist, while he still does have his cleanse, 7 out of the 8 summoners between the bot laners have completely gone. So junglers should be setting their sights on that side of the map. Should be some easy pickings potentially as the top lane continues to trade and mid lane relatively even though Humanoid has been able to find some nice trades in the isolated 1v1. Good push in of this bot wave as well from Kalist. But I think with MF's move speed, he's still going to
He's gonna struck. He'll lose 2
They're gonna
minions.
swap here.
Should be able to catch
Maybe
this first
3.
one with a double up. Yep.
Makes no sense, right? Because they win bot
But
matchup
yeah,
2v2
this is one
so
of the
hard.
struggles of playing into Ashe, especially, but also very much alongside Braum. If you are ever trying to push the lane out and you get clipped, that is a long way to run while you're
he almost
very,
got
very
stunned
slow.
there.
Vladdy with the Valkyrie out here. Mickey will look for the Shadowing Strike, gets the stun, and
Mickey has Ignite in like
Vladdy's
2
still able to
seconds.
survive.
That's so
Razzle,
unlucky.
meanwhile, in the top lane, catching out
Kana's
Kana,
dead,
who
he's
has
dead,
already
he's dead.
burnt his
He's dead.
flash.
Got me
Trading
boomerang,
into
Oscar.
in, and Kana down.
Alright,
Back
Fnatic,
onto
we're kind of
Oscar.
back here.
And Razork making amends for Oscar in struggling in game 1 by going up there early.
A lot of flashes committed in that top lane play, but ultimately it results in first blood and Fnatic with control.
No, I didn't mean we as
I
in
think
we,
this
chat.
game, in contrast to last game,
I meant
just
it- I
shows you
just said
the
it like a
power
thing.
and value of having pushing lanes and how a jungler can utilize them to find those early advantages. Kalist and Targamas stepping up aggressively.
Mickey has the Ignite. He's going to jump away with that crash down. Can eat the concussive blows, just trying to get the wave in here. Kana needs to be a little cautious. Oscar in very far away from Meganar. Will
Oscar
get pulled back.
jumped on top of himself, or no, he got pulled,
Kana
right?
yet to use that Darking Blade. There it comes. Q1, Q2. And
Is
we'll
Oscar diveable? He
decide
has Mega
against
now.
using the
Probably
Q3.
not.
Oscar's going to get towards Mega. Yike is on his way across. Is he going to go round for a gank? Are they going to tower dive a Mega?
He's just fishing enemy jungle. He's looking
That
to see
makes
what
more
camps
sense.
are up, see if he can
10
gauge.
seconds
I
on
think he should be
Gurubs.
able to gauge the Zyra's bot side of the map. The threat of the dive is definitely coming through from Fnatic. There's not
Oh,
much of
Razork's
a
bot,
way
he
for
needs
them
to start
dive
Drake.
off of, though. Maybe they just convert it into the Dragon instead. It looks like the most likely option.
Arcane Storm used by Humanoid just to force Vladdy out a little bit.
Arcane
Isn't gonna
Storm,
kill
is that
him.
what it's
He knows
called?
it, but that wave not in the best of spots.
I
for
thought it was
Vladdy.
called
This
something
wave,
else.
yeah, in a really good spot for Humanoid.
I thought it was
He's
called
already got
something
that
else,
level
like
6,
something
and the wave is
Maelstrom.
pushing into him. Humanoid leveraging his level advantage as much as he can. They're naturally not going to contest the Void Grubs.
Oh, nice hit from Kana.
Oh yeah, Chaos Storm, that was
100
it.
HP. Yike is here. Doesn't quite hit with that sear. Will hit with the Pillar of Flame. Oscar in just trying to get out.
Oh.
Dodges away from everything. Yike even looking for the Smite sear there for the stun. Couldn't find it. Did get the Grubs. Razork, as you say, will get the Drake on the bot side as compensation. Now has that Strangle
They could
Thorns.
kill Kalist here
Can look for a little bit more.
if Mickey just tanks, but it's a
Gonna
bit
dive?
risky.
Gonna dive.
They don't have a big wave.
Braum and an Ashe. It looks like it. The dive's been called. Ignited immediately onto Kalist. Strangle Thorns
Worth.
coming out as well. He'll
Worth
get
for Fnatic.
Mickey.
AD for
what
AD
cost?
for
Only
support.
one. AD carries
the
exchanging
wave.
kills.
I think this is a worthwhile trade. There was the option for Razork to move into the enemy bot side jungle and consider stealing away camps, but they thought that investing into Upset made
Upset has to
more
push it
sense,
out.
and it's very much what the analyst desk wanted to see, try and funnel those resources into Upset.
Mid's
put
winning,
him
top
in a
is
position
not
to carry,
losing, and
getting
bot is
that
ahead
kill
for
onto the
Fnatic,
MF
so
is valuable. And while Kalist did trade the kill back, he lost a lot of farm as a result of losing his life. So we look back at the dive. Mickey, he's able to connect the stun. The cleanse is instant from Kalist, but he still gets knocked up. And unfortunately, he doesn't have
Well
his
played.
flash available. So while he is able to trade 1-for-1, again, you see all that farm that ends up being lost. It's Mickey trying to clear out that ward, going to be zoned away. What is super interesting is the mid lane matchup. I feel like Humanoid has done a really good job of pressuring Vladdy, but Vladdy has not shown really much of a deficit at all.
It's going to be a plate. You can see Vladdy's done a really good job of farming. He's about a wave behind, 4 or 5 in total as Humanoid catches that wave under tower. The plate for Humanoid is a lot closer than the plate for Vladdy in terms of tower health. I say that with the wave going in, it's actually evened out mostly. So It's
Target
yeah,
matching.
very well done by Vladdy to
Mickey level
stay
4.
relevant.
It's actually a level down.
The craziest thing is
Full
he
level
hasn't
down.
flashed.
Also
when,
true, yeah.
when Mickey was there, he was able to gauge the damage that was being done, and he
Full
realized
level
they don't
down.
have enough to kill mate, so he doesn't flash. And then again in mid, we saw it in the little pip that was happening, that he walked away with like, I don't know, 50 HP, and he still
Where's
didn't
my
flash. So he still has that objective available. And again, you look at this health discrepancy, he's going to take a chunk of damage.
Has the
Vladdy?
Valkyrie, goes forward with it. There's the Arcane
I mean, he gets Victor ult and he has TP. Worth. Super worth.
And this keeps happening.
Yeah.
So he's going to be zoned away from a lot of farm, and maybe now we'll start to see a CS discrepancy start to
Humanoid
build.
shoves it in, so
yeah.
Vladdy
Kalist
catches
is-
it immediately.
We'll just
Look
catch
where
it.
he's standing.
You're exactly right. Targamas now on the
They're
rotation
really
towards
diveable in
bot.
bot.
Could be spotted by Mickey, but looks like there's no real follow-up. However, they've done
Oh yeah,
the job
Targamas did catch a full
of
wave of
zoning
XP, you're right.
Kalist away. Look at that CS discrepancy really starting to develop in the
Target's
bot lane
close to 6 now.
As Upset continues to find advantages.
Yeah, gets himself a plate as well. TP is
Ooh,
going to
big
come
arrow.
from Vladdy. Arrow in the mid lane.
Should be
It's
dead
an
now.
engaged already, and they engage perfectly with it. Humanoid.
Where's the Bren damage
doesn't
at?
really have anywhere to go.
Okay.
Kalist gets the kill.
A much-needed kill for Kalist.
Still 1 minute on the grubs though, and Bren did lose his flash. That's
That's
dangerous against the Rel MF.
Casey. They look to try and equalize the gold a little bit. Grub's going to be spawning in 50 seconds, and Kalist already finds himself in the middle of the map. No TP available for Vladdy.
Has the
That
shield.
If he wants
Lol.
to come along and contest those grubs with the rest of Casey, he's going to have to get this shove in and make his way towards that side of the map. Kana has his TP.
Lol.
See what Casey decides to do, as the TP actually does come through from Humanoid towards the bot side of the map.
It's actually a nice sequence from Carmine Core, right? They move Kalist to mid of him being forced out of the bot lane. Vladdy then TP's bot, so no waves, no extra waves are lost there. And then Kalist gets a kill on Humanoid, who's not expecting the arrow just to come straight down the mid lane. So really nicely done from Carmine Core. Don't lose too much on the map. Well, still moving their AD carry and support towards that mid lane. Vladdy and Humanoid will match up in bot, so it's going to be a 4v4 on the top side.
Oh, no cleanse.
Shadowing strike into Upset's
No
bot.
flash
Down
either. Oh, he does have
from
flash, actually.
Targamas. Razork flashing forward as well.
Ooh.
Strangled Thorns.
I don't know
Good
why
flash
they're
of
not just
vision
taking the
from
free
Targamas
kill on
to
the
get
Brand.
knock-up on Upset, stopping the end of
The
that
Brand
bullet
has
time.
nothing.
Yike forced away, though.
The Ashe still has flash.
Razork already has the
I feel like the
fated ashes
Brand
and the
was the
haunting
target
guys. Kana on his way
for
across.
this
Oscar
dive.
really
Now they've lost
say,
their
"Hey,
ults.
my top laner
So now the
is not
grubs
here,
are a bit
guys." He
more
wants to
tricky
shove
because
one more
Victor
wave
TP'd
in,
bot
maybe
as well,
get
so it is a
himself play
4v4.
While Carmine Core play around this mid lane.
I mean, I
They
really
got
feel
Ashe
like
cleanse.
Fnatic's
No, they didn't
bot
actually.
lane
They
is
got Brown
locked in
heal
this
from
game
that.
too. They're making so
From-
many proactive plays. both in
From
bot
Zyra
lane
Rel
and
flash,
now
they
in
got a
mid.
heal.
Oscar going to be the target from Kana. I don't think he's in
Jump
much
nah,
danger.
CC into the hyper movement speed away should be fine. You saw Vladdy moving towards mid lane as well, but Humanoid's actually been able to push in that way. Targamas stepping forward, doesn't have that Glacial Fissure. Mickey does have the Magnet Storm.
Maybe they don't know Yike has no
Fnatic
flash.
just
True.
have much better health advantages right now. Upset's been able to push in the mid wave. Yike really can't contest this.
True.
Overall, nice play from
Target
Fnatic.
gets cancelled.
No TPs from the mid laners means that they're going to be left isolated on the bot side of the map. Kana trying to put some trading down onto Oscar means that with Oscar's nice sidestepping and mobility, he's going to be able to avoid that and also set up a nice wave freeze. So a bit of revenge for Oscar after what happened in game one.
Much nicer laning phase for him overall, a much nicer start to the game for Fnatic overall. They managed to get the first Drake. They've split the grubs 3 apiece. They've got some plate gold as well, 2 in the bot lane, 1 in the top, and 1 in the mid lane so far. About 800 gold ahead or so right now.
This is going to be a long game.
Leandri is already complete on Razork. He is in a very strong spot. We do see Humanoid going for the Rod of Ages build on the Victor here. Catalyst was buffed slightly for the laning phase, so it's only a very small buff, but it's still
No,
something.
I think if Fnatic can get the
it's more
streak,
so
it won't be
I
that
just
long.
don't really like Rod of Ages on Victor.
I mean, I get that, but that's what he's going for. Shadowing
Humanoid's
strike
doing
from
the
Mickey.
Chovy.
He'll look for the Magnet Storm here as well. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto
The Chovy
Upset.
build.
Doesn't
I just think
force out
Casey's
his
champs don't do
cleanses.
anything.
It was really a disengaging arrow rather than an engaging one.
Apart from Ashe Brown.
Right now, there is a lot of fighting over control of this mid wave.
We'll see if Kana can
Now,
mega
remember
gap
earlier
top
we talked
randomly.
about how cooldowns make the matchup quite hard for Kana in the early laning phase. That's much less of an issue now. So you'll start to see Kana winning out a
Could've
lot
picked
more
Mundo.
on these short
Yeah, he probably
trades,
hasn't
especially
practiced it enough.
that Oscar in. As much as he'll try and utilize his range, you'll see he has to use some of his mobility to sidestep some of the poke that can come through from Kana. So if he connects that initial Q, it's much easier for him to then set up for the follow-up trade. So with the Electrocute and the Sundered Sky, he's going to be finding some very nice trades in that top lane matchup. And the team fighting is what we'll have to keep our eyes on. Aatrox can be a menace in the 5v5s. The only problem for Kana is this wave is in a bit of an awkward spot, but I don't think Oscar Renin can keep the freeze.
Yeah, pulling the
Please.
Drake out here. It's Razork in the area.
Brand Flash
Vladdy
still
has
down.
First move from bot. Upset
But
of Mickey
this
trying to
Drake
get
looks
that midway push in.
contested.
Will be able to do so. Callisto has to take the
Ash
long
Arrow
way
is on
around
cooldown.
to join up with his team. Drake down to
Doesn't
2,000.
Rel just go in there?
Humanoid coming in from the bottom side. Mickey goes in with a Magnus Storm.
Okay, well, thank you for the free kills, I
Immediately
guess.
the Stranglethorns as well.
Holy
Razork
fuck, there's so
falling
many
in
circles on the
close,
ground.
so is
Fnatic stomps
Yike.
them.
Both will fall down. Vladdy almost
Does he-
taken out by
oh
the
my
layers of
god,
the
he
Humanoid,
doesn't-
just quite have the damage yet. Aside from
He has
power coming
Roa,
out
he doesn't have
as
fucking
Karma
Deathfire
joins the
Torch.
play,
Why is he
pops
flash
the
E-ing?
world The
Oh my
slow
god.
onto Humanoid, grounding
Oh my
field, Karma
god.
flashes over it, and now Humanoid is all on his
He's dead.
lonesome walking
No
through the
pullback.
river.
Not dead.
They don't have enough to chase him down. One for
Corki
one,
had a
the
biscuit
exchange
anyway.
Drake to Carmine Corp.
I think.
Fnatic with a nice engage.
Swifties are busted.
But it's overall a relatively even trade. Jungler traded for jungler. A lot of blinking health bars as Fnatic holds onto the gold lead for now. We saw what will soon be the replay coming up in a few moments, and here it is. As the engage initially comes through, the objective secured
goes
by
in.
Yike. But then the
Vladdy
engage
gets
comes through, and it ends up
completely
being a
chain
storm of
CC'd.
storms, as we see a bullet
Upset
storm,
flash.
we see a chaos storm.
Brand for Zyra.
Stacking
Oh
on
my
top of each other.
god.
Now, if he had Fated Ashes, Humanoid would have gotten a kill there.
Yep, that is true.
It's
crazy that it's a 1-for-1.
With a speck of HP.
Shutdown
And the
for Brand
bonus
is
movement
nice.
speed that Humanoid is able to get off of his Q actually allows him to walk away to safety here. Maybe that's actually water walking. I'm not sure. I think it's his Q. In any case, point is that Fnatic end up a 1-for-1, losing the Drake.
Targamas, no flash, no
Targamas,
W
yeah,
either
very
on
much
anyone.
opposition here.
Unless Ash can help him.
He can stand beside me to
Yeah.
Callisto, and that's what it would do.
Dead?
I mean, they don't have a huge amount of damage yet, but it's Bloodthirster, MF, and Rod of Ages with 2 stacks.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
Maybe if
Fair
that Dark
enough, fair
Seal
enough.
had 3 stacks instead of 1.
Well, I mean, their resistances.
Nara
down
gets
Braum
top
as well
tower.
from his W.
Oscar's
There's all
quite
sorts of
strong
things
this
to help
game.
him keep them alive. In any
I mean, they win
case,
both
let's
sides,
take
don't they,
stock of the
Fnatic?
situation
It's a
as
complete
Fnatic
difference
find
from last
themselves with
game.
a much different early game compared
Also,
to
I think
game
Fnatic
one.
scaling is
A much
pretty solid.
healthier advantage with it pretty evenly spread across the board. They're now setting their sights on this bot tier 1, committing even 4 members. I don't really think they can secure the objective, but just chipping away at it after securing the top tower makes a lot of sense.
I mean, part of the risk as well is if
Ooh,
you
what
see
the fuck?
Carmine Corp moving that way, Stranglethorn's coming down. Okay.
Trying
Just
to force them
gain
back.
control and, as you say, go for the tower. But if you see Carmine Corp starting to shadow the bot side, there's always the risk that Callisto
Much
just
better game from Fnatic.
enchanted crystal arrows and Humanoid gets caught out, right? So you kind of want to shadow him to make sure that if Carmine Corp find that engage tool, they can't then fully engage to follow up, or if they do, they're going to overextend into your counter engage.
Completely fair.
They don't have
So
Zyra
we
ult for
find ourselves
Herald.
returning to somewhat standard lanes for the mid game as the AD carries fight for control over the wave. Top lane is left in an island as we see a quick back from Vladdy coming through. Maybe this is an opportunity for Humanoid to finally get that tower.
Yeah, I think he should take it. He might push the Waven back.
He's got very good vision though, so
Yeah,
he should
that's
feel
true.
safe enough.
Targamas face checking. He didn't have good vision at all.
Kalith had to
Callisto
stay
stays
to help
around,
him.
but
Oh, he got
Targamas tried to
cancelled on
stand beside me and was pulled back by the Magnet Storm. Targamas is a goner. He's sleeping with the fishes, and Mickey gets the kill in
They get
the
bot
end.
tier
I
1,
think
they get a
with the
kill,
Ignite.
they get Herald. This game's GG.
And
Fnatic
that
can't
will
win this game.
be the Rift Herald going over to Fnatic. A very solid early game for them. They take first tower bot. They manage to get the Rift Herald. They have the first Drake. And they have a 3,500 gold lead ready.
The next challenge will be breaking open.
Chat,
this
that's not an ult.
mid-tier
This
1,
game is
but
done.
Fortunately, they've just
Mid-tier
made that
1's dead
challenge
with
a lot
Herald.
easier
This game's done.
with the acquisition of that objective that you were just talking about. Dragon spawning in about a minute 30 as well. They could potentially get 2 birds with 1 stone. Utilize the pressure that they have with the Rift Herald into the mid lane and then convert it into the bot river to set themselves up nicely for the Dragon.
Yeah, but why are we throwing stones at birds, Veddy? Birds are beautiful, kind creatures.
Sure.
Don't have to throw stones at them.
That's not
that
true.
is
They steal
valid.
sandwiches on cooldown.
However,
Get 2 Ferrero Rocher with 1 hand. Just grab them both.
that's called theft.
No, they can be yours.
So you'd have to buy them and then...
Yes, yeah.
but
I'm
then
not
that
saying just
that
steal Ferrero Rocher.
Again, it's a metaphor. No one's actually throwing stones at birds.
Well, metaphors have truth to them often.
If anything, the real metaphor probably has nothing to do with stones and birds.
Yeah, very true.
Drake and 40.
No
Rel
birds
flash
the rest of
on.
This game.
Quite right.
Level 11 MF.
Corky's
Send it.
throwing stones at them from his helicopter.
Razork
Not
has
true.
his Zonya,
Hawkshot
so
does
he's
have a
fine.
bird in it.
That is true. Oh man, you got
God, I
me on the
hate this brand.
technicality.
Yes,
That's
I
rare.
did. Yes, I did. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels bad.
Yep. Now you know what every day is like for me.
Just stop being wrong, Betty, and it'll be fine. My bad. Right, next Drake up in 30 seconds time. That's why both teams are playing for this mid lane priority. Bot wave relatively neutral. They're just going to keep crashing against each other, but Fnatic do have the larger wallets, and so get the luxury
Casey
of
can't win the
walking
fight.
in
I
here
tell you.
first.
It's so Fnatic favored.
They've set up really good vision control. You can see that, well, I guess it's better to say Casey can't see anything,
very true.
as highlighted by our observers. The chip damage coming through from Fnatic, proving valuable, keeping Casey on their side of the map. But again, it comes back to that conversation around engage. While they do have the Ash Arrow, does their composition really reliably follow up on it? And who does it have to hit for you to really garner value? Because if it hits Upset, well, he's got the cleanse. And let's say you do hit Humanoid, sure, that is a very valuable target. But assuming
Mickey?
he's positioning correctly,
When
it's
are they
a
going to do
very
the Drake?
difficult target
Now?
to hit.
That he is. Oscar Winning just went back into mini Gnar form, so Carmine Corp might think, well, now's an opportunity
Nice
to
damage.
step
That's got to be a
forward,
free
'cause
Drake now.
Oscar can't TP back in with that Mega Gnar. Targamas forced away as Fnatic have total control of the river right now. Kana looking for the flank angle here on Oscar Rinnin. He'll try and sidestep out of the Infernal Chains, but still be caught by it. Targamas getting caught by Fnatic.
Ooh, that was good by Upet.
Targamas not there. There's no unbreakable to stop them.
Really
Mickey
beautiful
turned
by
on
Mickey and Upset.
by Kalist and Targamas, but they
Brown
can't take
split,
him
so they
out.
insta-send it on the
It's
carries.
just Yike falling. The Drake was stopped by Fnatic, but now with the Rift Hold charging in, they should be able to take the mid-tier 1 and the Dragon.
Love the confidence that we see from Upset, standing his ground, even in the face of Yike, looking to try and stun him up. He knows that
Mickey?
he has the support
Nice.
from his team.
Good driving.
They're able to get a kill onto Yike. And now with the Herald, they're looking to
Target
get
mass?
as much as they can.
Ooh,
The
Oski's
HP's
fucking
getting low.
dead.
Oscar likely gonna die.
Yeah, he's dead. He flashes.
Can
He's
he get
still
one
dead.
back though? Kana's
Can he
very
kill
low.
Kana? I don't think he can kill Kana. He
Oh!
cannot
Close.
kill Kana. I told you, Ben.
You're right, you're right.
Cannot
The sun,
kill him.
the
Close,
sky,
close, close.
And the Aatrox passive, I think, proving quite valuable there. But it was a close one. Gets the flash out from Kana at the very least. We look back.
Look
at
when
the
Braum
play
splits.
and
Look, look, look.
Casey
I think
hey,
Mickey sees
we
Braum
should be
trolling
able
and just
to
goes,
hit.
oh,
Mickey
bang.
And Upset say
I like that
no.
he Q flashes Ash and then
Upset
ults
does get
onto the
stunned up.
Bren.
His ulti does get
Because then Ash,
interrupted,
he knows he's
but
gonna
that
cleanse
does not
flashback.
dissuade him. He commits to the cleanse, he commits to the fight, and they convert it into a nice pick into a mid-tier 1. Now, of course,
And tier 2.
now after losing Oscar on the top side of the map, it did leave that top tier 1.
Kana
open
got some
for
English
Vladdy
lessons
to, at the
between
very
the
least,
games.
cross-map. The thing is, the Dragon didn't go down.
Yeah.
And now on the map resets, KC is first to the objective. Razork is on his red buff. TP available for Oscar.
Wait,
I'm
they didn't do
expecting
Drake
another
yet.
fight.
Razork has the Seekers here. Crashed down over the wall by Mickey. Doesn't have that Magnet Storm up yet, but Oscar on a good flank position here. Kana in towards that bot side. TP into mid lane by Vladdy as he'll go to the
Of course he's weak or
to
what?
the minion wave there. Fnatic's trying to mark Kana. They'll get the mid wave. 6,000 now on the Dragon. Magnet Storm off cooldown. This is Mickey's prime time to find a fight. Targamas going to be trying to stop that bullet time from getting in. Oscar in and stepping forward, about to go Mega Gnar. It's Yike the secure, it's Kel Surprise as he's able to get the smite fight. Vladdy flashes away from the Gnar. Targamas on the legit here as well. But Kana and Yike are in a good position.
Yike's in a bit of a weird spot now if you're going to go up.
Or are they being flanked
Help?
by
Any
Fnatic?
helpers?
It seems like it might be the latter as
Oh,
Yike
God.
is down to a 3rd HP and Humanoid puts him in the dirt. Upset chasing onto Vladdy here as well. He'll go forward
Vladdy.
with the Valkyrie, but he won't be able to take down the
He's trying to
Zyra.
rumble with them.
Fnatic find 2 kills.
I mean, it's a one-team fight for Fnatic. They continue to extend the gold lead. While they did lose the Drake, they're looking to get
Atakan
an even
should be
greater
GG.
prize in the Atakan.
I feel like Victor, look at Victor, okay?
And,
It's the same as the T1 game.
scenic view of the
Level
rift.
14.
Take
He's
a
going to get level
scenic
15
state
from
of the game,
Atakan.
Betty. 5,000
Vladdy is
gold
level
now the
13.
lead for Fnatic. 1 Drake to 2.
He's going to get level 15 from
They
Atakan.
are in prime
And he has
position.
Roa still to
All
proc in one
blue
stack. He's going to be
at
3
the
levels up on
bottom
enemy
of
mid.
The scoreboard. That's a blue
This is
wall
3
Fnatic
levels
are
up
quite
Victor.
happy to be a part of. 1,000 gold lead for Razork, 1,000 for Humanoid, 1,000 for Upset.
So we look at how easy it is for Fnatic to re-enter the river. And again, another great smite from
Can't
Yike. But
lose.
then what does KC do? Kana on the flank gets completely ignored. The Ash arrow comes through, but there's no follow-up as KC's desperately trying to retreat. Kalist has no mana available to him, so he can't contribute anything else. And this is where some of the disconnects come through from KC, because you can see Yike and Kana are thinking, we can make a flank happen. But on the other side of the fight, Kalist is saying, I've got nothing left in the tank. Vladdy realizes that there's no way for him to get out, so he tries to trade 1-for-1, and he ends up losing his life.
That guy's in a G2 jersey. What the fuck?
Oscar in. Oh my god. Well, that That's a yellow star moment if I've ever seen one, Betty.
An oopsie-daisy. Slip of the wrist.
I mean, also, he could just be really cosplaying as Braum. It's like, I don't really want to hurt these guys.
True.
You know, I'm just a nice, cuddly...
I often like to think of it
Shut up.
as a moment of tranquility.
Yep.
Because it shows to the average player that even some of the best players can make mistakes as well.
Call it relatable League of Legends.
Yes. Yes.
My stream is full of it.
I thought of so much flame in my head then, and I decided to move away from all.
Could have gone. Targum channeled his 2024 performances.
I
There's
thought
a
of none
bunch
of
of
that.
things you could have said.
No.
You decided not to do any of those.
I didn't think,
Okay.
nor did I say any of those.
Victor level 17, Vladdy level 30. Well,
It's been
bro,
having a
mid is
great
3
year
levels
in
up.
Targumus, but
Mid is 3 levels up.
I think it's, man, whatever Callista is doing to him, whatever sort of meditation or discussions they're having behind the scenes, Callista's helped transform Targumus
It just
into a
goes to
top-tier
show
support.
that when all you need is a good partner,
Yeah.
you know, someone you can trust in, someone you
True.
can rely on.
True.
Which is why I love casting with Dracos so much. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
know.
like we really just get each other.
I understand that, man.
So great.
Here's the problem, Betty. You're my best man, and you learned how to play Magic the Gathering for my bachelor party. So,
Well, I wasn't going to say that. That just ruins
you know,
the bit, doesn't it? That ruins
does,
the bit.
but, like, I'm never going to feel that you don't love me.
I love you a lot, man.
Yeah, I love you too, man.
Now, let's get back
Let's
to
talk
Okay, now
about League of
kiss.
Legends.
Okay, now kiss.
League of Legends.
True. Well, this is a prime Fnatic throw sort of game today in my mind. They're 6,000 gold ahead.
I
they have
see
control of the entire map.
Yeah.
It's Fnatic time.
Yeah, I see you've watched Fnatic before.
Yes.
Now, of course, with their gold lead, they are, as you rightly said, in prime position to win this game. I think Fnatic should wisely wait
Prime
for Upset
time.
to complete that Infinity Edge, which he does seem very
Holy
close
fuck,
to
that Corki's
completing.
weak.
The Dragon spawning in about 1:25. Baron, I think, should be an afterthought for Fnatic for the time being.
Meanwhile, Sally
There's no
moved to
real need
UK
for
to
them
be in his room all
force it.
day.
The pings are coming down, though. There is a question mark, but I feel like Dragon is the easier objective, especially given that both Humanoid and Upset are looking to complete their next major items.
I think it's also like Fnatic would just like a little bit more vision around the Baron pit, which is
Where?
where the question marks were coming from. You can see Oscar walks across, puts a control ward in there. Yike does the same. They had some vision in the Carmine Corp red side jungle, but not enough. As Kana will clear out that ward. 75 gold, Oscar and it's just... why ever buy them? No point, you know? I'm just going to get cleared by enemies. 40 seconds on the Drake Vedi. It would only be Fnatic's second of the game, but for Carmine Corp, it's a way back into the game. If they can find this, then they're on Soul Point. They do have a 2.5 item AD carry. Well, they've got two
Come on,
of them. In
Fnatic.
fact,
The
as
worst
Bloody
part
has
of
finished
Fnatic.
his
Okay, the
Marinade
worst thing
ball
that Fnatic's done
upgraded
is
to
they
the
have
Murmur
one
alongside that
dragon
Triforce.
at 26
Yike
minutes.
has
That is
Rylai's and
reportable.
Leandri, so he's in a good spot as well. At least in terms of
This is the
where
problem. They're
he can
6k
be
up, but they don't have a
relative to
Dragon
Razork.
Soul threat.
For Razork, though, that Seeker's Arm Guard
It's
is
a
gonna
horror,
do
no?
a lot of work if he is the one caught out by Carmine Corp.
See how things transpire.
Oh, it was Brand passive on the Baron. I thought it was just glowing, like a shiny.
Doing what he can to help
They should
maintain
make
vision on the top
Baron
side of the map for his
Be
team.
like a shiny. And
The
sometimes in
specs
games
efficient
you get a
that have
shiny
been
Baron.
dropped by Fnatic are being
Like
quickly
in
cleared
Pokemon.
out.
What about Baron shiny? Like one in
They
every
haven't
2
spotted
million
that
games.
ward, and they're gonna start the Baron
So you get a
off.
Baron
I
shiny.
think that they're safe,
That'll be
but
cool as fuck.
Mickey, the sneaky devil that he is, placed that ward just outside.
This is why I should be on the balance
control
team,
ward
bro.
range. Oscar
It's
and
just
Kana
up there.
trading towards the top side. Oscar going forward,
And
looking
shiny
for
Baron
that
just gives
wallow.
like 1
Kana
more
still winning
percent
out
on
the
everything
trade.
else.
Carmine Corp forced away because Upset's here. The Drake's
Because why not?
dropped by Fnatic.
Why not? It's an Easter egg.
And Carmine
1 in every 2 million
Corp's
games there's a shiny Baron.
little
He's like red. You know like Gyarados? Like red Gyarados?
Red
Red Baron!
I like the idea.
Cham
from
tweaking.
KC.
It's back.
If they were able to sneak that one away, of course, it could flip the game on its
Oh,
head.
arrow?
Ash arrow.
It's a great engage tool. As Razork's the one who's caught out. Vladdy looking for the damage, but
Where's the
doesn't
damage?
quite have it yet. Razork holds on to his flash.
Yeah, of course you can
K2
make it so
tower
it
in the
doesn't
bot
happen in
lane.
pro play. That's
Was
easy. You just press a
protected
button.
by KC.
You just don't
I
enable
think
it
the
on
good
tournament
thing
realm.
for KC is, thanks to Yike's great smites from earlier in the game, they're not at risk of a soul, which
Yeah.
Fnatic would love to be fighting
Or
over right about now.
You
Of
can make
course,
it a
securing that
sponsored
last
Baron.
dragon
The red
puts
Kit
the
Kat
timer
Baron is
at about
taken.
4 minutes, which means the next main objective to play for is this Baron.
Or the red
Of course,
bull
with Upset
blue
being as
Baron
strong as
power
he
play.
is, as a Fnatic fan, you should feel
Or you can make it so you can
about
just
your
buy
position,
Baron
but
skins
that
in the shop.
Baron can be a very
So I can give it like a
scary thing to
goofy ass
fight
hat.
against. especially given the
No,
Baron
let's go back to the
and
original idea. A
these
shiny Baron,
narrow
one in every 2
choke
million games.
points
Do
where
it.
the Misfortune can do a lot of damage, but the Brawn can also mitigate a lot of the potential damage that comes through from Fnatic.
I don't think I can
who
take the game
right
seriously
now
if there's
are
a
getting
fucking
control over
penguin
those
Garen
waves,
hitting the
and
Baron
getting
with a
control
fucking top
around
hat.
the Baron
Like,
pit.
bro.
Something Fnatic
Actually,
has
I'm
done
here
really
for it.
well,
That
though, is
sounds fucking
separate
great.
The Braum from the carries. Often Targamas will be on one side of the fight, and then Vladdy and Kalista on the other, so the Unbreakable isn't stopping the bullet time. Like, Upset's getting a few good channels of that bullet time down in the last couple of fights, and all you need is a couple of the waves to hit, and you're going to absolutely melt.
Also,
Kalista
if I was on the
and
balance
Vladdy.
team, I would make it
Now,
so at
Fnatic
35
stepping
minutes,
forward
Baron
into this
evolves
red
into
side
Dark
jungle,
Baron.
getting vision
He would
control
gain
the
twice
wave
the
a
size
long
and be
way
like
away.
demonic.
We see Carmine
And he would be like,
fighting into
He'd
the
give you
darkness.
Demon Baron buff. And he'd be twice as hard.
List.
And Demon Baron buff makes the
trying to
minions
chip away
red
the
and
HP
angry, and it
bar,
makes
but
them
Upset
run at towers and hit
has a
everything buffed.
very chunky shield
And the map
to
goes
keep him
dark.
safe. Fnatic
Like, the
with
grass is
position on
dead
the mid
everywhere.
wave. Maybe they
It's
wanna
just like
escort
black
this
soil
towards the
everywhere.
Tier 3 tower.
Holy fuck.
Vladdy's not there. Upset walks forward. There's the arrow. Upset cleanses it. Yike with a bit more damage onto Razork, but Fnatic able to walk away. Slightly wounded, but not too consequentially.
So you can see a degree of hesitation from Fnatic. They do get the arrow out from Kalist.
And it disables
Naturally,
all
love
wards.
to be playing around
Holy.
this but again, it's still a very scary objective to play through. You can't afford to underestimate KC, even though they don't have the easiest composition to play when it comes to the 5v5s. I will say, now that the death cap is finished for Humanoid, this is a build that I like.
Okay.
Because if you go for the Rod of Ages and then you go for more defensive...
That was my idea with
just
Atakan.
stacking completely, but
My
if you
original
go
idea
for
with
Henry's
Atakan is that
death
I
cap,
felt like
you're still
Atakan
gonna hit
being
hard.
up at the
You
same
have a
time
little
as
bit
Dragon
more
and Baron
stackability
is just weird.
behind you as well. It
So
takes
when
a long
Atakan
time to get
spawns,
there. This is an
the map
expensive
should go
build,
black,
but he's there.
and Atakan should be the
And
only
now he's
objective
level
alive,
18
and nothing
Victor,
else spawns.
Fully upgraded, ready to do some
And
very
like,
serious damage.
Until he dies, life comes back on the Rift.
10 CS a minute or so. Upset
That would be cool as fuck.
At that scoreline as well, as Mickey was chunked out a little bit.
But I guess it's hard to, like,
Blaze damage hurting
I
him,
don't
the
know.
right eye
I guess you
slowing
can't
him,
really
he's
do that
able
to the
walk
game, you know,
away.
because
Should be fine.
just looks a
So
bit
Oscar winning the
freaky.
trades against Kana as well.
It looks a bit
On
freaky.
the bottom side of the map, taking that tier 2. The gold lead
I like
extends
Easter
for
eggs.
Fnatic,
I like Easter eggs. Like in Halo,
7.3K, a 400
in Halo when you could get the
upset as
fucking
well,
recon
who has
armor or
that rapid
Hayabusa, I
fire
can't remember,
cannon
with the
complete.
skulls. That was fun, collecting skulls.
A very solid spot are Fnatic. They are just being...
Or like Easter eggs, like in
intensely
Split
patient.
Fiction, where you got
It's
all the
one
Easter
of those
eggs.
things where if you're a KC fan, you should still be a little
Or when
optimistic.
Vayne
I
gave
know you
1
were just
damage
making a
less on
joke about
Leona because she had
Fnatic
sunglasses.
earlier,
Bro, I
but
love
we've
those
seen
Easter
many
eggs. Give
teams
me
in this
more.
position where they have such a huge gold lead, but they then don't actually convert it into a win.
So
And
how
it's
does
because you
Fnatic
now
do
have
Baron?
to take the
How does
risk.
Fnatic
You're
do
the one
Baron?
that has to force the
They
play
have
and put the
Ashe,
pressure
Hawk
onto
Shot.
KC. They have a low
Ashe,
wave
good
clear.
at
They
stalling
have a
Baron.
lot of disengage tools.
Because
They have
Ashe
a
can
lot of
press E.
defenses in place. So
And
you've got to
Fnatic's
drag them
Baron,
out of their defenses.
it's decently fast, but
proactive.
Oh, Targamas is caught. He flashes the wall, puts the Unbreakable down. I think, was Upset just autoing the ward?
Control ward, yeah.
And then Targamas thought he was going to get autoed as well.
I
Because
wonder if
Upset can't
that
see
small
Targamas.
pocket of vision.
No, because you just see the control ward, I'm pretty sure. I don't
I think
you
you're right, because
yeah.
like 2 autos went into that control
Yeah.
ward.
Fnatic
Pretty
needs
sure
Baron
Upset
now.
Just saw the control ward.
Well,
Targamas
here
was
we
like,
go.
I need to get out of here.
But
Baron
KC have
begun
tracking
by
to it.
Fnatic. Targamas will have that Unbreakable back up.
Kana
just
basing.
recalling in the bot
Ooh,
lane.
Mickey
Mickey's
failed.
on the
Lost
wrong side of
flash.
the wall, and he'll take the Blaze towards the Baron. Humanoid trying to put the damage down as well. The
Arrow.
Hits
Upset, no cleanse.
He's not got cleanse.
Big damage from Yike!
More damage
Oh,
and
Fnatic gotta get out, I
Looking
think.
for that
Actually,
Mega
Upset has
Dark.
BT,
Kalista
can
doing
heal
a
on
good
grab.
job in back. Well,
Mega's
he
out.
went.
Wait, is
And now
KC
he's
just gonna
gone.
yoink that
The
shit?
Carmine Core will start up the Baron
Not a bad
themselves.
flip, I think.
Kana on the
Fnatic
flank,
state
he's
is not that
fishing for
good.
an angle.
Mickey looking for him, Shadowing Strike not
Okay,
getting it. Targamas
Humanoid
puts
might have to
the
ult him at the back
down.
here.
Mickey goes in with the
Wait,
Magnus
Kana's
onto
just fucking-
Kana. Targamas chasing forward here as well, and Kana will kill off
Oh, he got
Mickey.
one.
Humanoid
Blast
knocked up
cone.
with the Glacial Bishop.
Flip
Razork
the
trying to
Baron!
get smite back.
Flip the Baron!
Knocked towards the
They got it!
It will
What?
be secured once
Is Vladdy dead to
again.
Leandris? He's out.
Yike.
Oh my god,
Is there
Fnatic,
anything
you're not
this man
serious.
can't do?
2 games in a
Fnatic,
row
stop
now.
it,
He's been
stop
able
it,
to
stop it
win
now,
the
stop it,
Baron
stop it.
Smite fight
Fnatic,
against
stop it.
Razork.
Fnatic, stop it,
Kana
stop it.
put down so much value coming in from the flank
Stop
and just
it.
drawing so much attention. I think 3 members of Fnatic were trying to deal with him as he was
Really?
committed to getting that kill onto Mickey.
Really?
And even though he trades his life for ultimately just Mickey, it works. Again, keep your eyes on Kana and look what he's doing. The ulti gets committed by
It's
Mickey.
still
They're
unlosable for
trying to
Fnatic.
stop him
You might
from
think I'm crazy,
collapsing,
but
and
it's
crucial
still
that they
unlosable.
do. But now Upset is
That's
being taken
no
away,
cap,
and
no
KC have
jinx or whatever.
position on the Baron. Humanoid as he's trying to stop Targamas from providing assistance. Fnatic is now disorganized. Razork is in a very
Wait,
difficult
Yike's kind of
spot.
crazy on the smites.
And the smite is then secured by Yike. It's a one-team fight by Fnatic. but KC find another angle to stall the game for longer.
Importantly for Carmine Corp, they got 3 people out with that Baron as well. One of them being Vladdy, who can split push a little bit on this Corki at least, has the safety. He's not just going to be caught out. Targamas. He's going to look for a stand beside me onto Kalist here, but he's
Let him out!
He's dead. That was greedy positioning from him. You saw people in the mid lane going for that.
Well, -1
ward
Baron buff.
when you don't have
Oh! Wait!
teammates around the arrow though.
One shot, shut down!
And now
Oh!
getting
What?
shut down by Kalist. Fnatic greedy as well.
Kalist has
Carmine
flash.
Corp find 2. Kalist
Humanoid has flash too, he
will
kills him, he
flash
kills him.
and
Humanoid
cleanse
kills
his
him.
way
Oh no, he
away
can't.
from Humanoid.
He's too
Just
fast.
flash as
Vladdy's
Yike
dead though,
and
right?
Vladdy now
Oh,
getting
Yike
chased
and
down.
Vladdy are
Oscar
both
in
dead.
about to go mega. Humanoid opening up with a big deeps. Yike tries to turn it back
With the
around,
big
but Yike
deeps.
will fall as well. Humanoid takes 2. And just like that, Carmine Corp lose
Bro,
most
how
of
is
their
Fnatic
Baron
not
buffs.
just
The
winning the
game
game?
is getting very messy as picks are happening across
Messy
the
shout out,
board.
that's a Baal stall.
It starts with KC
Baal
finding
shout
a
out.
pick onto Razor, and they turn it into a pick onto Mickey as well.
Kana's just gonna go. Humanoid has flash here. Infernal Chains won't get the pullback. Kana needs those wings to fly him out of here.
Holy
Upsets
fuck.
on the chase as well. Kana will turn
That Aatrox
around
speaks English. Oh
in
no.
that gravity field. Realizes
Oh,
there's
no.
nowhere for him to go. Humanoid 5-1 now on the Victor.
Yeah, the Victor is quite good at kiting, especially when you have that gravity field to be put down. Kana losing his life, really not gaining much value off the
3
back of
minutes
it.
till Fnatic
The
win
good
by
news
default.
is that Fnatic have no real objectives to play for, so it ends up just being a kill. The goal difference was 7k earlier, so the good news, thanks to securing that Baron, is that KC have been able to claw some of that back, but as you can see from the Baron power play, it's only about 500 gold.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a long one.
If
The
they get the
pressure
shutdown
continues
on
to
the
mount.
upset,
And the thing for KC though
Ooh.
is even
Upset
though
and Victor and
they
then Humanoid
still
are both
have
worth
decent enough itemization that they
1K
could win
gold.
out on a fight, I just have concerns around
it's
how
hard,
their
it's
comp
hard.
actually functions when it comes to finding a good fight. I think it's so much easier for Fnatic to play, and I think we're seeing that in so many of the ensuing fights, as Fnatic have now set their sights on the top tier 2.
Should be able to get this here. The wave there, all of Fnatic are just circling, looking for that tower. They'll take the tier 2, cleared out the mid lane. He's going back to base. I wonder, he's up towards that next item. Still a little bit of time before he gets there,
Fnatic
but
just
he
get us
swaps
into
a
game
small
3,
sword for a
right?
big one, as his Dormans has
7.5k
been
gold
sold
lead.
to Boris,
Soul point in
and,
2
he has
minutes.
grabbed himself a
6
PS.
item Victor. 5 item MF. 4 item Gnar.
We enter a
Corki
moment
was
of
down 3 levels.
respite.
You have 2
As
items on your
no
support as well,
objectives
so
on
you're
the
up
map,
there.
as we
You have a
highlighted
gold lead
earlier.
in every role.
Both
You
teams
have
just looking to
an
clear what they
outscaling
can,
comp. Your
trying to
jungler's 2
finish
levels
some
up, and you're going to be
itemization.
first on the objective
Yeah.
with control.
A lot of poke.
And your
is
mid tier one's up,
disposal.
so you have mid push.
Void Staff now finished with 10
You can't
stacks
lose this.
on the Dark Seal. I wonder if you will upgrade that to a Magi's. For now, it's
Hey,
not
and
necessary.
MF6
He's got
items!
full damage from here out, which I like a lot. I really don't think the Zhonya's is necessary in this game either as well, so I like the direction that he's gone with it. Fnatic back on the offensive with a wave. They've set their sights on mid, and they're just going to melt this.
Nah.
Vladdy was
Nah,
clearing
nah,
out top
nah,
wave.
nah,
Immediately
nah,
the inhibitor tower in the mid lane
nah.
is gone. Upset stepping
Nah,
forward.
that MF is too
Yike
OP.
takes a double up. And is
That
chunked
MF
out
is
as
too OP.
well. Upset will step in by
That
himself.
MF is
Has
Thanos.
cleanse and flash very safe in this
That
sort
is
of
Thanos
position.
right there.
So you say minimal engage from Carmine
Thanos
Corp.
with shoes
Kana
on.
trying to catch the wave a little bit earlier here, but Oscar in and keeping him at bay alongside Humanoid. Force him back. Wave already cleared out. Kana low though. Oh, you can see Carmine Corp looking for that engage.
Let him
You can
lifesteal,
see-
let him lifesteal,
you
let him
can smell
lifesteal.
it Sometimes there's
Let
that
him lifesteal.
opportunity, but don't want to overextend, especially with Upset still having that flash.
Upset taking a lot
That's
of damage,
balanced.
but is able to heal it back up. Dragon
40 seconds on the
with
Drake.
KC having
No
the wave
infinity
mid.
edge on
They're gonna
Corki.
escort this towards
That
the
would have been a
tower,
spike.
which remains
No
standing.
GA,
We're
no
36
IE,
and a half
no
minutes in,
BT.
and they haven't been able to
No
knock
GA,
down
whatever.
that tier 1.
No Abyssal Mask.
Halfway off cooldown.
They're
You
missing
get
so many
Upset
spikes,
cleanse in
Fnatic. You
that
win this. All you have to do is press
little exchange,
flash
and
on
now
Corki and he
Upset
dies.
without cleanse, concussive blows,
Or Ashe.
and the
Ash has no
arrow and
flash.
the sear, the stun
Oh my
from
god,
Yike.
Ashe has no flash.
Could
It's
be enough.
unlosable.
Even the slow from Kalist can do a little bit of work. Fnatic though keeping them at bay still. Now doing
Ashe
a
is gonna get
really
one
good
tap in the
job
fight.
of just chunking Carmine Corp out that little bit before they get towards the Drake. Humanoid very willing to step up this Rod of Ages, giving him a lot of safety. There's the arrow once again into the Glacial Fissure. Vladdy
Nah, he
trying
can't
to get
walk
it from
up.
the side, but Targamas is the one who's already chunked out. Oscar in falling low as well. Doesn't have that
Nah,
Mega Knight
he's-
yet. The Sterak's shield
Kinda
into
dies
the
here.
Gnar. Upset trading onto Vladdy. He'll take one. Kana now in the middle. 4 members of Fnatic. He'll dive forward with a healing. But this isn't G2, my man. Fnatic don't die to the
Alright.
Aatrox in the river.
Fnatic won a
Humanoid
game. Took a
flashes
while.
in. Board got the double. Kalist tries to trade it. He'll
Holy
get one
fuck,
out
that
of
was
it.
personal. That guy just got
But it's the only
blasted.
one that Carmine Corp will be able to find. Yike. He's going to put the damage down onto Razork, who will...
He gets him.
Does he? Does he get him? He does! He gets him, but at what cost? His Nexus towers are laid bare. Fnatic will start on them. Upset Oscarinin and Mickey looking to take us to a game 3. Yike comes back alive, but doesn't have a way to clear out the wave. Mickey stomps him down.
All right, game 3.
And Fnatic will take us to game 3.
A really nice bounce back performance from
Did he say
Fnatic
bounce back?
as they
I
found
swear he
some
said
great
bounce back.
fights. And with a much
At least we
better
get a game 3.
early game, they came out swinging a little bit slow to
Someone
close things
tweeted
out.
at
They
me and
did
said,
lose a
"My
Baron,
cat is
but ultimately
confused
they
by
will
Sally's
bring us
antics."
to game
Hello,
3.
cat.
I didn't like the draft from KC. I thought they were really limited in their options. And we'll see how they adapt as we get closer and closer to that third game.
Yeah, very much agree with you. It did feel like, does the arrow connect onto the same person twice in a row? Cool, maybe we can kill them. And even when it did, they started falling behind. Law is standing by with Razork to take us through what happened in that game.
Thank you, guys.
Razork, I'm
No
not happy about that
extra
one.
time, Razork, thank you so much for joining me. Talk me through the end of the game. You had an immense lead. Why did it take so long for you guys to close out the game?
Yeah, I don't think we're being that good on objective setup, and yeah, I think my smites are not that good right now. So yeah, I think the fact that they got Nas was a bit dangerous. But yeah, I think next game gonna be better for sure.
A couple words for the Fnatic fans to believe here, because they have been cheering for you a lot so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do our best as always to get the win. So hopefully in a few minutes we will start getting the win.
Well, I'm gonna let you join your team, Razork. Thank you so much. Doing their best. Fnatic fans believe they are taking you to game 3 in this match of the week.
Give me chaos. Never gonna settle for those boring plays, no way. Give me chaos. Never gonna feed, but we will create some space.
Give me chaos.
Greedy for the glory, so we're only chasing dreams. Making titles, trophies, highlights, international memes. Give me chaos.
Beady, beady. Okay, music. Music. You've lost 36 gambas in a row. I'm not gonna lie, you're just boosted then. You're just boosted. How are you feeling, boss? I'm feeling good. My energy in the last game was good. I've got energy for a last game. I'm chilling. Check Balsa's stream. Wow, what's happening in Balsa's stream? Is he playing Yone top versus Pingu Garen and he's getting blasted? He's playing Yone top into Pingu Garen getting blasted? Oh my god. Wait, his hitbox on that Garen is so small, isn't it? Why is his hitbox so small? Did they just change it because of the fucking skin or what? They changed his hitbox? Okay, let's jump. Bum bum. Try that game I linked you. Skill issue, phosphorus bomb, sap magic, supercharge, final hour, To the skies.
Gets himself
Burrs.
played
Wait,
as
this
well.
is so
He's gonna
old.
come
What
out
the fuck is
from
this?
Vladdy. Ammo in the mid lane.
Is
It's
it that one?
engaged already, and they engage perfectly with it.
Primal
Humanoid
Howl.
has the flash, but doesn't really have anywhere to
But this
go.
is old
Kalist gets
league.
the kill.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah,
Stage presence.
flash on this guy.
Ultra shock laser.
Okay. Is that?
Darkness Rise. Bro, what the fuck is that? Like this one?
I want to waste on TP, okay? I want to waste on TP. Ash still not
Thrill of the Hunt.
Brand is here. I'm gonna cancel him.
Flash flip him in 1 second.
Shield of Daybreak.
Very nice.
Twilight Shroud.
Canceled him all right. Okay, he got his hands on some of the objectives,
Mountain
but it doesn't
Dread.
matter. Fnatic got the W, and they're back in this. And let us cast our minds back to winter, to that
quickness.
finals weekend. And it's
the
not
lens.
really, I think, conducive to go like, well, if they would have won that, maybe they
Void
wouldn't have
Seeker.
won the split. But they went to game 5 versus KC. They
Tectonic
were
Disruption.
toe-to-toe with the then future winter champion.
Well, I don't know if they would have won the split, but that's where the Fnatic curse started. Because from that point in Game
Dawn and
5,
Shadow.
when they drafted the Volibear Misfortune, that's when
Thundering
everything went
Shuriken.
downhill.
No, speaking of curses,
Vision of
because
Empire.
Well, now it's a redemption
this, yeah,
story.
this is where they turn it
Powder
around,
Keg.
because I do think that we have to give them some props in terms of
Stormbringer.
kind of mental fortitude, right? Because as you say,
Decimating Smash.
after that SK match last week, it was going down a bit. Then the ending of the
Heart
last game with
Zapper.
that Baron steal.
What
but
the
no,
fuck
they
is Heart
recouped
Zapper?
fantastically.
Yeah, but what does that mean for Fnatic? I don't know. I haven't learned a lot from their journey in terms of like when this happens and when
Zenith
they
Blade.
peak and when they falter. I mean,
That's true, actually.
yeah.
Divine
So I'm like,
Ascent.
yeah, you're lining up all these things and I see
snip.
it, but also
You line me up the good things about them this
Eye
match.
of Destruction.
How did they get so far ahead, rather? How are they so convincing
Fury
versus
of
KC
the
and
North.
Game 2?
well, I really cared about Razork this match.
Explosive
And I cared about the
Cask.
fact that he had pushing lanes. I cared about the fact that he was
Daredevil
able to be
Impulse.
everywhere
Love
every
that
time.
picture.
It's one of his
Daredevil
best he's ever
Impulse.
taken. But in this scenario, right?
That's
Matchup was a
Bonk
bit
W,
rough for
Akali
Arcana,
E.
or for Oscar rather, but he's able to trade flashes with
That's,
him and get the
uh,
kill. Cool. So
it's
now you
this one, I
salvage
think.
your topside position, but he's also able to get his bot lane ahead, which is what we
Pyromancy
wanted with
Crashdown.
Offset getting a couple of kills.
Exactly, this cross map is everything here.
Leap,
Albeit
question
he
mark.
did collect the free kill on the top lane and then did a full clear into bot
Purple
and get
jump.
this, but at the same time the tempo usage was just great, and on objectives
Ranger's
and in all of
focus.
these skirmishes, the Zyra pick is just
Distortion.
so great when the enemy team has to constantly walk into you.
Tides
Yeah,
of
and I think
Blood.
that brings us to the next conversation
Wish.
as well at that point, doesn't it? Right? It brings us to the
Rampage.
draft because I think we had a lot of compliments for Casey in the beginning,
Rampage.
except when it got to the second ban phase, right? But in this one as
Oh my
well,
God, I'm inting.
we've already
No,
learned.
let's just say it. I don't
Inting.
think you
Staggering
like
blow.
Casey's draft in
Wait,
either
wait,
of these
game focus,
games.
No,
game
second
focus
ban
here.
phase. I like the first three. Second
Staggering
ban phase
blow.
were
Even
That's
definitely.
about the full draft.
Well, even
That's
in the
true.
first game, the Nafiri
You
pick was
can't
a
win
little
a
bit...
game with half a draft.
But my
GB.
point is, how many times have we seen a Syra and then see get
Yeah.
dumpstered by a Mundo? We have tools
Event
where we
Horizon.
can punish first pick Syra. And this time
Spray and
around,
pray.
I actually think Fnatic did a great job at building around their Syra.
Last
And I think
rites.
Casey missed the mark in terms of building
Twisted
around,
Advance.
which was in what stopped the Syra.
I just feel like
Relentless Pursuit.
they walked into the trap where they see MF, they see Zara, and they think Braum is a great pick,
I
but
knew
they
it was
didn't really
Lucian E.
think
Oh
enough
my God,
going
I'm
into
griefing.
4-5.
I
what's
could do
gonna
that
be
whole
our
game, I think,
perfect
if
answer
I
into the
focused.
Zara, and they fell for this brand.
I could do the
and went
whole
for
game if I
5 pick
focused, I'm
Aatrox,
sure
and
of
it
it.
just really felt like they didn't have enough of skirmish power at all.
But I think it really comes down to, like, you're seeing the Syra.
If I actually
right?
thought about
Again,
it.
We need someone to go on that side.
I felt like I was
Actually, we
pressured
get
'cause of
the
this shit.
Draft up again, but you see the Syra, you pick all these low-range champions, but also who's going to engage in these scenarios? Right now, you kind of have a kite back comp. You have a Braum, you have an Aatrox. Aatrox doesn't want to necessarily go in first. Like, he'd love if there was some CC he could then follow up. I mean, Ash kind of want to kite around the Braum, and so does the Corki. But then Brand, what is he left to do?
You're a
so I
washed
think
caster.
it missed an identity where it needed
What is this,
engage, and it needed
lexical?
some, more
They
synergy.
could not
Exactly,
break
the
me,
team fights are
champion
just not
voice
static
5.
enough for this sort of team comp that you have with the Corki and the Ash. You prefer everything to
Kai'Sa.
be a little bit more localized, not really
What?
flexible.
They could
everywhere.
not
and honestly,
break
we have
me.
A great replay
Fuck,
that
who
if
is
we
that
can
then?
bring up would perfectly
They
showcase
could
the
not
problems that
break me.
the
That's
K-Corp draft
Aurelia.
had, because
No?
later in the game,
Who is that?
it
As
felt like
Dinah.
they had to cook a lot. It felt like they had to bring plays out of everywhere. Like, if we look here, Vladdy, Yike, Targamas, they're just,
Zombies
it's a
versus
4-man
plants?
flank, 5-man flank, even the ADC is flanking because
What the fuck?
there's just no reliable win condition. It's just everyone's running
Iron
for the
Spike
hill,
whip.
trying to make magic happen, and Fnatic is just in this sort of dead ball, and
It's
everyone on K-Corp is like, okay, I'm
Suffering
gonna try to
awaits,
cook
isn't
something.
that
I'm gonna try to
Kha'Zix?
make some magic happen.
Suffering
To
awaits.
try,
Oh, it's
to
Veigar.
try and
Oops.
create a
Attack
winning
for the
situation,
Yeah.
and it's just this is not what K-Corp Team Comp obviously wants to do.
I didn't even notice it when it
Aphelios
happened, but you're right.
ability.
They literally came from every corner
Everyone's
of
flanking.
the
It's
area.
not
Like,
even
I got
front
it.
line.
I'm flanking.
We don't have
I'm
a front
flanking,
line.
I'm
Stealthy
flanking.
warrior
Yeah,
reliant.
it's crazy.
What the
But
fuck?
I brought that up about the drafts is because you also said a similar thing in game one, and I
What
think
Karthus seeks to do.
maybe often in teams that are doing really well, right, they tend to also win with suboptimal drafts because they just know how to play things better. But you actually said, no, I feel like the inconsistencies in draft is something that I have noticed from them.
We do have noticed it, and in game one, it did save them the fact that Kana just got so far ahead. Because in this game, you know, if you have the same story in the top lane where the Aatrox counter pick is popping off, then maybe you have a similar story.
Fucking,
but even when you go in the draft phase, you think of Aatrox in our matchup, it's not consistent enough where you get sort of leads. While in the first draft, it at least made sense. 80% of the times, the Jace is gonna pop off, the Nafiri has to do a little bit of a suboptimal play, just cover the Jace. But now I just didn't see it at all.
No, that's fine. But I think that came down to Razzle.
What
because
Karthus seeks
individually,
to do.
I have seen Kana do some nasty things on that Aatrox. So I do understand
What
that R5
Karthus
from that point of
seeks
view.
to
But
do.
I also think it goes wrong way before that, right? At that point, you're just trying to salvage it.
Oh,
I don't necessarily.
waste.
I mean, maybe someone engaged like an Ornn or whatever would have made it easier. Totally would have. But I don't think that's the strength
Zombies
of Casey, and
versus
specifically not on
something
red
skin
side.
line.
But that also just means
Zombies
going
versus
forward now, you really just need to make it simple for
wait,
yourself,
the A
right?
is not
And
there.
I think for Casey, I have seen them get lost in some fearless situation when
it's
it gets
pirates.
later into a
The
series.
sauce.
Yeah,
it's off.
exactly. Where it gets a bit difficult for them. So I'm hoping this is where maybe we see some improvement.
It's
But also
Slayers,
for Fnatic,
apparently,
where
chat
you don't
says.
drop the ball, now where you crawled your way back in the series.
That's a great point. And,
Aphelios'
in terms
ability.
of crawling their way back in the series for Fnatic, I think reversing
Shall we
for
fox
West
Aphelios'
Fnatic
ability
is kind of
called?
whatever. But winning this game
Dusk
would be
Wave?
absolutely huge, right? Grabs came out
Easy.
and said
Smurfed
we
it.
have to make
That was all
sure
me.
that this happened last week and that's
That was all me.
Now we can attack that. It can just be a blip on the radar.
Anyone who tells you
don't think
otherwise
we can
is
overstate
wrong.
how absolutely humongous this would be for
Humongous
Fnatic
what?
if they win this game 3 and if they can say we won the match of the week versus Casey.
I mean, Fnatic is just like... This is the weirdest team in our league because
Humongous
they
what?
They lost to the last
so
place. Yeah,
frustrating.
but they lost to the last place team last week. Now they're up against our first place team of last split, and now they might win it, right? You never really know the quantity of this team, but I do think that this is so important, not just for Fnatic themselves,
Shout 'em out
but
of
also
juice.
for their fan base to finally feel like, okay,
Fuck.
this team is getting somewhere against the better teams.
But Odo, with your observations about the KC draft, their trap card has been activated because KC is on blue side. You know they get
Wait,
extra
Casey's on
strength
blue,
when
big.
They are on their own color side, I guess. But what are the choices they need to be making
Are you
here?
gonna watch
They really
LTA?
need to be going
No.
back to Targamas on engaged support, and even now that it's game 3 Furious, there's still plenty of them open. The Nautilus is still open. I think the Leona is still open. So there is enough stability in the draft for
I've
them
been
to
live
be
for
opting for this. And especially now that you're blue
while.
side, it's a lot harder to come up with these crazy support counter pick situations that Targamas would maybe
If
go
LCS
off
started at like
course.
1
Can we
p.m.
bring the
EU
casters
time,
up? Let me
you
get
know,
them
I
on
would be
another
super
screen. I'd
down.
love to get a 4. Wow, Fetty's going to opt out of predictions because he doesn't want to do it, I'm sure. But Medic is there, and he's a great support. So where do you think we should go in terms of the support picks here?
Ooh, okay. Well, Vedi, what do you think?
I think Targamas hasn't played Leona all split.
That's true. Also hasn't played Nautilus.
You know what I think is great game 3 support? Elise, actually.
Yeah.
Elise really...
Kappa Chungus
really-
Deluxe Elise
Fnatic
support
fans
free
spotted.
lose.
I mean, and lost.
Pike could be good.
Pike also, yeah. I mean, I feel like you two just don't expand your minds
It's
enough.
true.
The support pool is a very diverse
Kappa Chungus
space.
Deluxe, no one wants
actually
to
plays
play
a lot
Elise
of
in
Lee
a
Sin
match
support,
point.
and I'd love to see Targamas play that.
Hey,
It's
Vedi,
got
don't sell yourself
CC,
short for
it's got a
Fnatic
gap
just like that.
closer.
Yeah.
You know, these are options.
Okay,
I
I
want to see
see-
Yorick jungle.
You
Just
do?
as a note. We haven't seen Yorick jungle yet, and it's really strong.
Medic's
So-
jumper is
Alright, well,
kind of
maybe we'll
cute.
see that, and you can take over now. You've been having a
jumper's
fantastic
kinda
cast.
Thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about the draft, because what's interesting is I disagree with them on the game 1 draft. I liked Casey's draft. I didn't like the
I
Neferi
hate
in
it.
the draft.
Sure.
But
I
the
can
fact that
agree
they
with
had winning top, winning mids, I think is just an easy game plan. And I think that basically what we've seen so far in this
Okay, get
series
me
is
in.
that a lot of this series has been
Vice
determined
Garner
by
Ben.
who can get priority in the solo
Kalista
lanes.
Yone
I agree
Ben.
with that.
And so, I mean, just play for that. The mid pool and the top pool is going to be
Okay.
super important, I think.
Galio
Top lane has
Ben.
largely
They're
been,
forcing a Rumble Ben
not
here.
instrumental in the outcome. It's not until
And if
later
you
on
ban
into the
Rumble,
game that we really see Kalista and Upset have that impact. So instead, just
they will first
prioritize
pick
having strong pushing solo lanes.
Kalista.
And with a
No.
lot of these wave clear
Sejuani.
champions gone, I do
I
wonder
guess.
what direction our mid laners will go. Potentially Hui will rise in priority, for
Or
example.
It's very
is there a
possible.
champ
I'm
I'm
wondering if we
missing?
see a rumble out
Oh,
from
they will
Carmine
first
Corp
pick
here with the
Maokai.
Galio already banned away.
So they banned
does Maokai's
Draven.
up?
Yeah, that is very true.
So now if
Maokai
KC
could
take
be
Rumble,
easy.
Yeah, I like Rumble Maokai.
When Maokai
Fnatic
could be
takes
solid.
Maokai.
Can you play Rumble
They
into
kinda need Maokai Yone.
That's a question.
Oh yeah,
that
you
will-
definitely can.
Yeah.
I think a Rumble's perfectly fine into Gwen. Like, I think Gwen will reach a point where
At the tip of her needle.
Yeah, they're gonna take
probably.
Maokai Yone
But,
if you do that.
also
Oh no, Yone's
when,
banned,
like,
you're
she
right.
gets a certain item
Okay, they take Maokai.
I think she will start to
Okay,
be out on
they
the
gave Rumble
but
to
then that's
Fnatic,
the whole team
but
fight
Jace is
value
out,
debate right
Yeah, with
around.
the
Corki's
equalizer
out,
and
Exactly,
everything.
exactly.
Yone is
Gives
out,
you- it is Maokai
Ezreal Varus is
instead,
out.
and Fnatic are like,
Ooh, I think they should take
well, the
Jhin
Rumble's
here.
available.
But this is a little.
I think Jhin is a
wonder if
mega
this is
pick with
mind game
Rumble.
where you hover the Rumble.
We'll ban the Galio as well.
Just go
no,
Jhin
get
Rumble.
the Maokai, quick! I better get the Maokai. Oh no, we've left Rumble.
Jhin,
up, and then
Rumble,
Karna's been
Trist.
Like, Psych, I've got something prepared.
Pike top.
I think if they
I
don't
think
take
that's
Jhin
what he's
here,
got
I think
prepared, but
Jhin,
maybe,
Tristana
now Razok, will you prioritize
could be
your
cooking
jungle,
pretty big.
or instead
Or
will you go
they
a
could just go
different
Jhin and match top.
direction?
It looks
Which,
like,
I don't know
you
what
could
he's gonna
always go
play top
jungle
into
on
Rumble.
Third pick on red side here. It's not too much of a harm.
that's
Let me
Kaiser
think.
lock
Ambessa
in.
out,
buffed
Nar
on
out, Aatrox out,
25.6
Jace out.
locked in for upsets.
Galio
He's
banned.
very
Jack's
comfortable
a
on
horror.
over
Gwen
his
could
years.
work.
We talk about York jungle
They
as well.
need
York
AD
top,
mid, and
still
AD mid
very
is
strong.
pinched.
Okay.
Look,
Maybe
York
you
is
pick-
really good on this
I think
patch.
you could
I
do
like
Jhin
seeing
and
York
Rakan.
at all.
No, Rakan's
I
out.
was gonna comment on how last split, the best version
Lots of
of
good
Fnatic,
support.
I think, was when we
Alistar's
saw
out, Rakan's
Razok
out,
and Vi
Molten
upset
is,
on
yeah,
Kaiser,
Braum's out.
and they were just diving in together, and it was very much like an all-in type
Now
of
they kind of
composition.
have to go
I think
Kai'Sa
the Nautilus
Leona.
takeaway is really smart. Kai'Sa Nautilus, something Fnatic likely wanted to get for themselves, which they will be denied. Leona will now likely rise in priority. Unless Fnatic have something else planned, but I can't really think of many other supports that would pair nicely alongside
They have to go
Kai'Sa.
Leona on
The
3
great thing
here,
about
Fnatic.
Kai'Sa here as well is with Varus, Ashe,
think
and
Jhin is a
all
good pick.
gone, you'd
He's
have to
going
look at something
Xayah
like a
because he's
Caitlyn.
scared.
I mean, Xayah is also quite
Because they're going to play Leona on 3 and they're going to have Rumble Kai'Sa Leona.
Xayah
He wants to
Nautilus, I
play a
think, is a
champ
strong
that
bot
cannot
side
get
champ.
one shot, you know?
Also really nice safety
They can
when
peel
you're
for
looking
herself.
at dive comp. Right?
I get
If
it.
the Solar Fly comes down,
100%.
Featherstorm. If the Equalizer comes down,
I get it,
Featherstorm.
I
Just
get it,
out
I
of
get it.
there.
I think this
Carmine
comp
Corp
really
already
needs AD
building
champs.
towards
Any
a
AD
composition
champs.
that can
Any
cope
good
with
AD champs.
all-in from
Tristana,
Fnatic, and they will
Lucian.
lock the Leona as their final
Smolder.
pick, for Mickey. It's the first time
I
he's
mean,
played it this
AD
split. Also the
junglers as
first
well,
time
they
we will
need-
see
they need fucking
Targamas on that Nautilus.
Pantheon, they need
So already, both comps are very
anything.
much a lot more about the team fight.
They need
It's very
Pantheon, they
clear
need
that on
fucking
the side of Fnatic, they have a lot of
Vi's
backline
out.
threat just because
Viego
of
is a
Kai'Sa's
bit
ultimate
hard.
to be able to
Jarvan
get
is
there.
pretty
The
good for
Rumble
Fnatic.
ultimate stacking alongside
Ooh,
the
Jarvan
Leona
is
ulti.
crazy
There are
good
a lot
for
of
Fnatic.
Cool combos there.
Into
Meanwhile, KC
Maokai
just
as
have
well,
a
it's
lot
a
of
great
control.
matchup.
Nautilus to lock down
I
a
would ban
single
Jarvan
target,
here,
provide a huge
100%.
amount of utility. The Xayah feathers
Jarvan ban,
posing
nice.
that zone control in the fight, and of course the Maokai ultimate.
Why are you saying
and the
posture check?
saplings just means that these fights are going to be really important in terms of the setup and how they are executed. Interesting that Fnatic chose to ban away the Sylas, because back in the day when Zeka
Yeah, I don't know
was
why they're banning
rising to
Sylas.
become world champion, he was deliberately picking Sylas into the Maokai to be able to steal that Maokai ultimate away. So
Xin
Fnatic
Zhao, yeah,
clearly
Xin
having
Zhao
a
is
different
great as
game
well.
plan with the
I
Gwen
think
quick to
any
follow.
AD jungler here
Yeah,
is
no
great. You have
surprises that
Xin
Gwen
Zhao,
has been
you have
banned out.
Pantheon,
Fnatic will have the final pick. They
and
counter
you
pick
have-
for either mid or top lane, depending
there
where
must
they
be
want
one
to
AD
do it.
jungler I'm missing. It's
I
not
will
Viego or
utter
Lee
his
Sin.
name, Cassante. We have not
Xin Zhao
seen
ban.
yet. This
I
series
think
would be
Pantheon
a
is great here on
very
4.
safe pick.
Wukong is
for
Wukong would be
Carmine
great.
Corp if they wanted it.
Wukong would
just
be really
don't
nice.
see Kana playing that. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
he's
mean,
going
that's
to
true.
have
I think
something
it has to
else
be Pantheon.
prepared for us. We'll have to wait and see, though. Again, like a part of me
Talia's
feels like
out.
that the
Ooh, you could try and
the
cook an
Rumble was
Ahri
a
on
bait
5, but
in a
maybe it's too
sense,
much AP.
but it very much will depend on what the final lock is. Now, I thought about Pantheon.
I think
don't
Fnatic's comp
love
is looking
Pantheon.
great.
It does give you some physical damage, whereas the Kai'Sa
But they need
will
a
go into
really
AP
good 5
later
pick here
on,
to round it
obviously.
out. Like a Yone on 5 would round it out, or a
That is
Talia,
true.
but they don't
That is
have
true.
either.
We have, Rumble obviously does do.
They really need
damage
something to
in
round
the
it
top
out.
lane, though, so having a little bit of physical damage on that top side of the map will help.
My concern about Pantheon is like
I
when
think
you get into like
Vladdy
the
has
later
to pick pick like a Kali or Ari or LeBlanc or something with mobility. Otherwise, he's gonna get one shot.
Single target. His ultimate
Ari's
really
good.
isn't that scary.
I really don't. Oh, Azir's open.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out.
I
'cause it
really
gives you
don't
a
know
lot
what
of
Kana's
early game
gonna pick.
agency,
Ari
especially when
solid.
paired alongside things like the Ari, which is going to be denied. You
Cassante.
did call the Cassante, and it is going to be locked in.
I think
KC
Tristana
going
on
for a
5
much
here is
safer
winning the
top
draft.
side of the map. Alongside the
I think
Ari,
Tristana on 5. Oh
Ari
my god, I think that wins the draft, you know.
Trist mid, okay.
I think that
So
wins the
they're
draft.
going for the double AD
Chat,
carry
I'm everyone ads. If you know what ads,
composition.
you can tier 1 of Twitch Prime. You have to tap channel if you want to back for the game starts because like she has
I have many
she's
thoughts.
Tristana mid
Okay, so let's go
against
back
double
to what
AP
we
mid
talked
jungle
about.
in a
Pushing
winning
lane
lane
seems to
with
win
Rumble
games at the
Kai'Sa.
moment.
Leona.
Who has
Like
the
they,
pushing
it's
lanes?
it's good. No, they kind of have to build MR. They kind of have to build fucking mercs. You have winning top. You have winning mid. You have winning 1v1 jungle. You have 2 divers. I like Fnatic's comp.
He's going to get pushed in. So top side of the map very much favored towards Fnatic. Bot side, I think I would give that advantage to the Xayah.
It just depends on how good you play now. Gotta play good.
Norless is very scary to deal with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Kai'Sa can get it, but then you're using your Cathian Rain to push the wave rather than to trade, which is not the most effective of plays. We'll see how bot lane goes. The rest of the map, as you say, likely pushing for Fnatic early on. How do we feel about the compositions as a whole here, then?
I think Casey's
just play good now.
In terms of his execution. I mean, how much more simple can you get with Maokai plus Nautilus and a front line of Cassante? You just basically play front to back with Ahri. But this is why I don't love Ahri in front to back comps.
I think Casey has no damage. I think Casey is outranged. I think Casey loses side lanes. I think Casey is fucking out team fought. I think Casey has losing lanes. I think Casey's fried here.
Their comp is just harder to execute. And I kind of don't trust Fnatic that much. So
I think Casey's
I'm
fried.
hoping for an exciting game 3. Fnatic bounced back nicely in game 2. They took a little while to close the game out. But
they have mid push. They have top. Well, mid push slightly contested, but early mid push.
What they want?
What is that? Tristana skin. Ew.
And I think
they should have top push.
The advantage that Fnatic does have is that they do have.
You know what I would do if I was Yike this game? I would sit in this bush till 120, and I would right click here, and I would flip the game level 1 on his Raptors.
4 points in her queue,
and then if Velia did that, I would blame him for losing the game. If he died.
Level 2,
but I would personally do it as well.
So.
And if I did it, then you
do
couldn't blame me.
A lot of work on that. Tris is lethal tempo for both Humanoid and Upset. On the other side, Vladdy running the
and then if I died and lost the game, I would say drafted.
Oscar winning, charging up his overheat bar here. Just wants to have that little
or if I was
bit of
Maokai, I would
extra
go
pressure
here and
in the
flash
lane
over a level
when
1
he
and
gets
bigger
there.
red.
Both the junglers going to start on the top side of the map. It looks like Razork on his Razor Beaks. Yike.
Wait, is Yike actually going to do it?
Blue or his Wolves first. Maokai obviously does like to clear AoE camps because of that Bramble Smash. Can do quite a lot of damage to those camps.
Oh, I wish he did it. Fuck, that would be so funny.
Like, Kallista's so important in this draft. If he dies, I think Casey just loses so much of their damage. Which might seem obvious, like, oh, lose the AD carry then. But
they don't have damage threat from top lane, really, is one of the major things.
Exactly, and like, look at it, Rumble, Tristana, Pantheon, Kai'Sa, like, if any of them even get slightly ahead, all of them can do a lot of damage. So it's a multi-threat comp from the side of Fnatic.
Fnatic.
I digress. That's all theoretically in the future. In order to even get to those points, you have to have a strong early game, and already we talked about the pressure that we're likely to see. In the mid lane, Humanoid getting that quick push. On the top side of the map, Kana just
Oscar, how you
get a
push?
few trades in, gonna get level 2 first.
Just fucking fry his ass.
And Tofu's will get the knock up on, as we see Upset forced away here. Mickey going back in with the Zenith.
No flash on Nautilus.
On
oh, he's dead. Bro, this game is done, by the way. They're pushing every lane. And their jungler is fucking broken early. So he can bridge them to the late game.
He wasn't second on the menu for the Fnatic bot lane.
A very nice punish from the Fnatic bot lane. You can see how they were getting zoned away, but in the aftershock from Targamas, it gets procced, and immediately Fnatic fully commit to the play, knowing that a level 2 Nautilus against Leona Kai'Sa with Ignite is very killable.
Yeah, that's the problem as well. As soon as you proc that aftershock stepping forward, you don't have it for the retreat. You are just a sitting duck for the Fnatic bot lane, who do get that first blood. Humo jumping onto Vladdy, dodging away from the charm.
A sitting anchor, you could say.
You could say that.
Because they're submerged and they're heavy and they don't
Mods
move.
lock in.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, it was good. It's got concrete shoes on.
You just didn't laugh.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, Dragon going to be spawning in about 1.5 minutes. Something that we've been seeing around the world a lot more is, of course, the lane swap changes. For those who don't read the patch notes, to give a quick brief, Riot basically said, don't lane swap anymore. And so pros
there's a level 3 Nautilus roaming the rift, and Xayah is right behind him without having base.
More, especially what can be
so
challenging.
Kalist hasn't recalled, Upset's in lane, and they did that for a crab. Has Xayah lost the game?
If they're going to be moving around.
Bro, I think there's going to be a 3v3 in bot right now, and Fnatic will win, and the game will be over.
congregation in the bot side of the map.
Hex flash across. Mickey only level 2 goes in with the stun. Razork there for the follow-up. Upset trying to get onto that backline, but doesn't have the flash. Mickey still chasing Kalist down. Razork will fall, as will Kalist, and now Upset's in a 2v1, but he can trade into this. Targum forced away.
They only go 1 for 1, but Zaya is so cooked.
Vladdy's on the rotation. Yike with a good twisted advance to get away from Mickey.
Ooh, I think if I'm upset, I crash this wave and I roll and I run
news
top.
for KC is that they were able to get a kill onto Razork, and that went over to Yike. The bad news is that their AD carry died. He ended up losing his flash, and now he's going to lose this
Oscar
whole
STP and Rumble level 6 on the swap.
So more experience is going to be denied away from Kalist. But Hex Flash over the wall from targets. They chain CC Razork. The target focus is pretty good initially, as they just try to shut down the Pantheon as quickly as they can. Kalist finds himself isolated. Mickey knows that he can get that kill, but then KC turn it around as Upset. Even though he did get first blood, I mean, Kaiser's still not that crazy strong this early on into the game. So ultimately, an even 1 for 1. But again, Kalist losing a decent amount of farm.
Razork now on his way to the top side.
Oh, no W.
Going in with that Pathfinder.
Overheated Rumble though.
Razork looks for the stun, finds it. Kana does still have the flash, and Tofo will get the knockback, but isn't even going to be able to use the flash to get away.
Oof. This game is completely cooked for KC.
Razork being super proactive on the map is exactly
look at mid CS as well. Like
needs.
They're gonna swap themselves here, KC, actually, to try and get the fuck out of this lane.
His ability to set up for his laners,
both side lanes suck, mid lane sucks. All these matchups suck. I think Fnatic unironically won 3 out of 3 drafts this series.
Success. And now look at this, Upset with a 400 gold lead, Oscar with a 500 gold lead, and now that swap we were talking about coming through as KC prepare for the Croats.
Oscar TP back up to this top lane, but
just rumbled the wave.
Just catching the
he's
wave
6 and 2
here.
minions.
With Targos not having flash,
maybe he's fine
not
actually.
having it as well. Setting up a tower dive would be pretty tricky. Mickey goes in, will be pulled back here. Doesn't have a flash of his own, but can walk out of tower range. The Prey Seeker, Void Seeker, not
but it is Fnatic, so it is throwable. It's always throwable. Does he have jump? The way they're playing, it looks like he has no jump.
Just wait and he'll burn the flash.
Okay, he has
if
no
you
jump.
Use your rocket jump, you can get hooked out of it by
trying to get Drake
there,
for grubs, not bad.
Flash than to
Rumble is really strong on this weak side. He's level 6 and he's going to get top wave in while they're on grubs. They're going to skip the Drake and go for the bot dive onto the no flash Cassante. They have to play this dive a little slow if he has W up. Maybe bait his W. Oh god, Mickey, this is not good. I think this is a 1 for 1. Oh, this is a 1 for 0. It's a 1 for 1. They need to get on that Drake quick.
He'll fall, get a 1 for 1, and get
actually not too shabby, you know, because I think Cassante will team back and be happy, but they can't do Drake now either.
A lot of time committing to that dive.
A kill instead of Drake.
Miles on the minimap. Yike hovering around the mid lane. They really convert this into a play that looks like he's not going to commit to it. Instead, just wants to focus on the Raptors. And crucially, Razork realizing that if he goes for the Dragon, he will be overstaying his welcome. So just returns back to his side
is on his Maokai signature.
And I think this is something we've seen a lot this series. Yike is very
you think of Maokai, you think of Yike.
Orientated. Getting the early grubs was clean. There was no cross map happening. Well, the cross map was this play. The attempt dive.
Crazy, they raw dogged the dive. Cassante full HP, level 6 with W up. That is absolutely ill.
Kana does what he can to get
instead of just taking a free Drake.
But I think the valuable thing here for Fnatic is they get a kill handed over to Razork. They deny a lot of farm away from Kana. And all that gold and experience and plates handed over to Upset as well. So it's all red at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, about a 2,000 gold lead for Fnatic right now. Upset
oh, you
going in with a killer instinct, looking for Kalist here. Dodging away from the root caller as well. Target
holy Upset.
Just around the corner, does
he got spaced a little bit at the end there.
Supercharge his way away for now. Dodges away from the dredge line. Mickey looking for the flank here. No vision for Carmine Corp, but they should know that something's
Michael.
happening.
Michael.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, just misses. Just a little bit wide on the flash there.
I mean, Kalist also had cleanse. Wasn't forced to use it. I guess he was worried that Kalist might flash. I mean, his flash is very close to being up, so maybe there was a bit of a missed time on when it was available. In any case, doesn't connect. Fnatic don't convert it into another kill. They will set their sights on the Dragon. Yike is in the area. The bot lane needs to catch that wave, and Vladdy really can't move.
Yeah, Humanoid has him stuck on a tower.
It would be really greedy from Yike to contest this. Just like bot wave pushing, mid wave pushing, like you would be walking into a danger zone if you went for that. So Fnatic will get the first Drake of the game.
Rumble's frying top. He has 3 biscuits, Grandma's Bakery.
For Drake is the
I just think Humanoid needs Merc treads and he's going to fucking cook their mid-jungle.
Doing very well in the laning phase, regardless of how much push Humanoid has had. He's staying relatively even in terms of the gold. keep your eyes on the Pantheon.
Oh my god, we're Pantheon
Going
ulting.
down with the Grand Starfall towards the bot lane immediately onto
Free kill on the
Targamas, who's
Nautilus.
stunned up
No
and
flash on
taken
Zaya.
out of the action
Oi,
by
oi, oi.
Razork.
I mean, just a fantastic early game from Razork. He's found
BF
bot
sword is a
gang,
big
top
buy.
gang, bot
Big
dive,
buy.
bot gang. The man has been on a mission in this game, and pretty much every play that he's been a part of, he's made a kill happen. He's been involved in 4 of the team's 5 kills, and he is really kicking off Fnatic's early game.
He really is. Got that 2-1-2 on right now in a 2,000 gold lead for Fnatic. 9 minutes in. Oscar Winning doing a good job in this matchup now as well. Has about a 25 CS lead or thereabouts, and obviously got that kill earlier on.
I think they should open mid with Kaiser Leon
Has had
here.
a bit of a struggle bus of a game, but he is on
run bot.
Cassante, who can do a lot with
Just
a
run bot.
little.
Lovely.
What I think is
Good assignments. Now they need to
really
play
interesting
bot
about
side
this
after
game is,
Pantheon
you know,
finishes
when we
top
talked
camps,
with Shocks on
base
it, one of
run
the things we
bot.
talked about is what we thought
But
was
Grubs
important
are
for this game,
spawning, though.
and we talked about how priority in lanes.
Yep.
Right,
Maybe
and then
this
after
isn't
the
the best
draft, we
lane
talked about
assignment,
who has
actually.
that
I think
priority,
Tristana should
and
have
it
ran
was
top and
Fnatic's
Rumble should
solo
have ran
lanes that
bot.
had it, and the bot lane where we thought
Because
Casey
this
could look to play
Cassante's full
through. So what
MR.
does Razork do? He attacks bot.
fine,
He
though.
knows that they're training summoner spells. He knows that they want to
in the
fight,
rope.
and so he gives control back to
What is
Fnatic's
Simon
bot
doing?
lane. He makes
Freezing?
one
Is
gank
he
happen
freezing?
for
Freezing?
Oscar so that he can be accelerated. He has the Leandry's already
Push.
finished, and he knows that he can just leave him to just push in the top side of the map. He doesn't want to play around humanoid in mid because it's a hard gank to make happen.
I'm quiet!
Set up
Okay,
everything
sorry. I'll turn my mic up.
nicely
Sorry.
for
Hello?
Fnatic in the early game across the board.
I was just yapping out loud.
Upset Mickey in isolation in that 2v2 as well. They were able to pick up the kill on Targamas.
100%.
So
Better?
Good job all round by Fnatic in this.
I was just
game.
whispering
A
to myself.
2,000 gold lead for them, and now they are beginning to group up around mid. There's a second set of Void Grubs up in a moment's time. Yikes,
They're
gonna go
not
across
fighting the
towards it. Targamas
Grubs.
looks for the dredge line, will land
Warum?
on terrain, get the Saggering Blows
Warum?
off.
Why?
Into the depth
Mickey's
charge.
just
Vladdy
walking
chasing
topside
forward.
and
They
dying while
really want
Pantheon is
Mickey,
right-clicking
and they
bot.
won't be able to secure
Hello?
the kill.
Hello?
He's,
Hello?
not going to
What the
flash
fuck was that
God's
kill
will to,
animation?
and his
Oh, it's the
Hex
fake
Flash
Ari
going
skin, right?
over to Vladdy.
Look at the cross map though. Fnatic have set their sights on this tower. It's going to go down slowly, but I think they should be able to secure it with everyone committed.
I don't
to
know
the
why
top
they're
side of the
giving
map
grubs
for
though.
the
Like,
grubs and the base
Tristana
grubs
gets a
will
bit of
fight. He
gold,
does
yeah,
have
but I feel like
TP,
those
which if
grubs
he
were
commits
fucking
it, I think
free
he could
fight.
actually save this tower.
Yeah, he's gonna go. Razork comes back. He's like,
Yeah, I don't know about that
you
one.
got no spirit rush.
That guy has no ulti.
Okay, no, Razork
Yeah,
just
Thomas on the way as
guaranteed the
well.
tower. Yep. Wise choice by Razork. So grubs exchanged for the tower.
Offset jumping
Nice
in here with
ult
a
by
killer instinct,
Upet.
though. Targamas gonna have to flash
Cleanse the
wall.
charm, do it.
Humanoid's gonna dash forward as well.
Nice
With that rocket
kill.
jump, and Targamas is dead.
I don't know what these teams are doing. Why is Vicky going topside while Razork wants to dive bot 1v4ing?
Into the jump in.
And then why
And
is
the follow-up from Fnatic is sublime.
Support
Why are they walking up
being
there?
the focus in this game as Mickey gets caught out on the top side of the map. Targamas is caught out on the bot. Neither
I think they
have
should put
flash available
Tristana
in
should run
those
out top behind Rumble.
exchanges.
Take over top
But
and
really
make Rumble
it's
base and go bot
Fnatic
out this
that's
wave.
continuing to
Then he should
extend the
blast
gold
his
lead.
Cassante with Spirit Visage into fucking
Top side of the map,
Yuntal
Kana
Wild
with the
Arrows
Spirit
Tristana.
Visage now has a bit more resistance when it comes to faring against this Rumble.
Don't base
Still,
there,
it's
you're
not
just gonna
an
get
easy matchup
10-selled.
to play into. We're getting closer to
My
one of these
god.
big fights.
Hello?
And I come back to a conversation we had earlier about damage, Medic. The Rod of Ages Ari build
You need to go
very much
bot.
centers around the idea that Ari doesn't
What
really
the
in
fuck?
meta
Rumble's OP. What is that
have the
damage?
ability to one-shot anyone right now. So
Yeah,
you
take
go for a
Tristana's
little bit
wave,
more of a
thank you.
durability build, you go for a little bit more
Take
of
the cannon
chip
as well.
damage.
Yeah,
sure.
Great.
But again,
Thank you for that.
like, it's a very low damage comp on the side of KC, which means on these first item spikes, Fnatic should feel very confident.
And now you're gonna have to TP bot. You gave Tristana a
Humanoid.
plate and
Kraken's
took her
Slayer
wave
already complete
for your
Upset
TP?
as well.
Really?
They're in an incredibly strong position.
Right now, it's
Okay,
like
nice
they are
TP.
super strong Fnatic. KC really want to
Minus
be
one
careful
cannon, though.
about finding fights because
Not
it's this
worth.
type of window where, especially in like LPL, you'll see them on these spikes really force things because they know that this is where they can blow the game open to a point where you can't really recover. We'll
TL
see if
clears
Fnatic
these
can
frauds.
deliver that level of aggression. That's what I'd love to see. Razork has been
What
super
about? You can't even clear
aggressive
FlyQuest,
so far this
huh?
game. He needs
That
to
is-
keep that up because at the end of the day, the longer this game goes, KC do have scaling
guys couldn't even
avenues
be
and
top
they will
esports.
find ways back in.
So Fnatic are going to play on this next wave that's coming through top. We saw pings on it. They're looking to push forward with it. There's the solar
Has
flame
cleanse.
going down on
Cleanses,
He'll pop the
ults.
Featherstorm. It's a 3v4 in favor of
That's a
KC.
big
The
Nautilus
depth
ult.
charge
That
going
charm
down
hit
onto
me.
Upset. Kalista able to get away. Razork
Kalista
has
is
the flash
stepping up.
for his life and will maintain a hold of it for now.
So what summoners
Okay.
we used, Flash
They lost
from Yike,
Pantheon
Flash
Flash.
from Razork. They get the cleanse out from Kalist. But notice that it was Kalista that was immediately forced to retreat because they realized the damage that was coming through from Fnatic. And the moment that Kalista was saying, I can't really do anything else in this fight.
You beat KC. Oh, did you in group stage?
KC thought that they could maybe
How
chase
did your
a little bit
top
more,
4
especially
go
with the
in the
arrival of
knockouts?
Kana. Ends up in Fnatic. Really just burning a few summoner spells. Ultimately, Dragon now alive. Fnatic have reset. They make their way back out onto the map. Yikes still hasn't. Finds himself at 50% HP. Don't think KC can really contest.
Yeah, you're not going to. Oscarwin also has the level 2 equalizer. Has just hit level 11. He's a whole level and a bit ahead of Kana in that top lane now. In such a strong spot. Upset almost a level ahead of Kalist as well. Fnatic will get the second Drake of the game.
2 Drakes. 4K gold lead. Better team fight. Better scaling. Better side laning. More range. Early lead. Better early game. Better mid game. Not throwable, right?
Leona ultimate already back up. Kalist, no cleanse, no ulti. It's a very dangerous window for Kalist as he completes the Essence Reaver. Mickey needs to be on point with these ultis if he wants to connect onto the Xayah. You talked about it in Draft Medic, that self-independence, thanks to the fact that you have that ulti to provide you with your own peel, is going to be a crucial ability and necessary for Fnatic to be able to make that dive happen cleanly. KC, though, they've been able to stabilize just a little bit. Of course, the gold is very significant between the two.
Yeah, I think Rift Herald's going to be the key fighting point here. Mickey looks for the soul.
No cleanse.
Kalist.
No ult either.
Out by it. Upset jumping forward. Depth charge going to hit onto him. Kalist
Upset cleanse flashes out.
And all of Fnatic are here for the
Kana TP. Bit too far forwards by Razor K. Doesn't have the ult. Doesn't have the flash rather. But Humanoid is cleaning on the side. Jump. Boom. Out. Kalist burning. Q3. Nice flash from Oscar. Damage out from Upset here. He has ult as well. Could play it. Okay.
Can't find anything more.
Close fight. Close fight. Nice play by both sides. I think Razork a bit too deep.
It's a 2-for-1 fight in favor of Fnatic. Vladdy, very little
but
mana,
Leona
he
ults
should
are
be able
on
to hold
point.
this midway. And ultimately, Fnatic can't really convert it into anything, which means that it's ultimately just a few kills. Kalist gets CC thanks to the Leona ultimate. And Vladdy, I mean, it's that ultimate from Pantheon. He commits onto the front line, and it ends up just being a front-to-back. A massive Maokai ultimate buys a bit of time.
I thought when Kalist was low under the tower that Upset would ult across here, W, and then flash out. Would have looked fucking clean, but he was Nautilus ulted, sadly.
Humanoid to turn it into a 2-for-1.
It would have looked clean.
Though, recognizes a window where at the very least he can get something back.
Again? Again?
Doesn't have cleanse, but does
okay,
have
no.
the storm this time. Now he's walking on the equalizer.
Kalist is getting caught a lot by these Leona ults. And Leona engages.
Clipping the edge of Targamas there, only getting the slow, but with Rift Herald up, you have to think Fnatic will put that in their sights.
So
they'll take the
unplayable
top tier 1 as well. Rift Herald should be able to help them crack through mid-tier 1.
And you can see the game plan. We talked about it, Fnatic seems very aware of it. Just bully the damage dealer. Kalist is so crucial as one of the main damage contributors in this composition. And Mickey, when his ulti's off cooldown, he's setting his sights on Kalist.
He's doing a really good job of it as well. Kalist now does have the cleanse. Featherstorm only a quarter of the way off cooldown. Targum is the next target. Razzle jumps in with the CC.
This could not be too bad for KC. They will have number advantage.
TP's coming in as well. Spirit Rush immediately.
Well, not number advantage, but ult advantage. Humanoid's dead. Kana's tanking. Nah, they lost this fight as well. It's over. This game's so lost. It's crazy. It's so mind-blowingly lost, this game.
KC tried to respond to the aggression of Fnatic, but they're the ones that are pushed
They have
back.
no Leona ult, no Rumble ult, no Pantheon ult dropping in, no Kai'Sa ult, and the enemy team had Ahri, Maokai, Nautilus, K'Sante.
And it's another one team fight in favor of Fnatic. And again, they don't convert it into an objective, but the goal difference continues to mount.
Let's have another look at this, because Mickey does decide to go back in onto Targamas. And at this point, I'm like, oh, Mickey, maybe you're a little overextended.
I very much agree, Medic. I thought that Fnatic, especially with that Maokai ultimate, could have been in a very dangerous position, but the instant stun onto Vladdy makes it difficult for him to get that initial kill.
K'Sante ult was on cooldown and just came up as he died. If he could ult Tristana there, he would have actually killed him. Or the Kai'Sa, whoever he had against the wall.
Fnatic can then utilize all the damage that they have to just focus the frontliner in front of them. And remember what we said earlier, these one-item spikes, you can see how much damage Fnatic have, and they're saying, no, we really want to fight. And every single fight they find, they're always getting a kill or two up.
Yeah, and they're building that gold lead as well. 5,000 now their advantage. Drake up in a minute's time. Carmine Court
get this race, Fnatic, and it's GG.
Against the ropes here. They need to find something.
They're not even spiking yet. They still have IE and Rage Blade. And when they get that, it's
they need
even
Fnatic
worse
to be Fnatic. Imagine being a fan of this team. Game 1, They were routed game 2 and played well and closed it out. Game 3, who knows? It's only 5,000 gold ahead.
Only.
Fnatic have been in this sort of situation before.
True.
And have not managed to close out the game.
I definitely think fans want to be reassured when it comes to Fnatic.
Herald
the early
mid.
game has been fantastic.
Herald mid
And
go to Drake and take the free Herald.
They've been super
the
aggressive.
free
They've
Drake.
constantly been looking for fights. They've been building their lead continuously. Razork has been involved in 10 of the team's 12 kills. He's been incredibly proactive on the map. Now with the Herald, they should be able to break open this mid-tier 1 and set their sights on the Dragon.
Kana coming across will be
Only way to
stunned
lose
up.
is if you win.
A little bit of the damage
Short
going
update.
into him. Kalist with a good blade caller will get that root. Riptide charges forward. And with Carmine Court investing 4 players towards the mid lane, they won't see Fnatic taking that tower yet. Targum is chunked out though by a spear from Razork. The Drake has spawned.
They are dropping away with mid prio.
Looking for anyone on a potential flank, but he knows where Yike is, and the rest of Carmine Court are in the mid lane. Fnatic trying to gain control of the mid wave, but Carmine Corp have cleared it out first. Razork started up the Drake. No vision in this bush for Fnatic.
They
KC
gave a
will
bit
put
of
a
space
vision
to
around
KC
the
here.
corner. Mickey, solar flare. Only really clipping on
Okay,
time as he
everyone
goes
destroying the
down
rules
as
to
well,
fight.
but immediately Fnatic
Double
are
AD carry hitting.
jumping
Oh my god,
forward,
Kalist is
and
dead to
Oscar
Lienrys.
splashing in with the flame spell. Humanoid kills off
GG,
Kana.
well
Kalist
played.
falls as well. Fnatic are routing Carmine Core. Bloody having to flash away. A 3-0 in favor of Fnatic. Soul point for them as well.
Soul point.
Fnatic showed no hesitation when it came to engaging that
Wasn't
fight.
even the best engage, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't connect
Just
his
send it.
ultimate onto Kalist, but it doesn't
Just send
matter
it.
because he forced him to retreat and the follow-up was enough. Humanoid, if his jump hadn't been interrupted, that would have been a 5-0 ace. But Fnatic will be more than happy with that as they set themselves up with Soul Point and will follow up with an Anakan.
It is a stomp so far for Fnatic. 3 Drakes buffed up by that Atakan. We'll have another look at the fight because Mickey Solar Flare only clips Targamas. And after that, Fnatic are just all guns blazing forward.
That Rumble ultimate was huge, and Oscar just finds the target that he's looking for. Shuts down Kalist. You see that jump from Humanoid getting interrupted, so he doesn't get the resets to come through. The flashes as KC are forced to escape. And it's a situation where even in this front-to-back, like, KC just don't have the damage, especially at this point in the game. Now that second items have come through,
Objective
you can see how
bounties.
accelerated Humanoid is with the Infinity Edge done. Oscar on his second, Black Cleaver finished as well for Razor. It's just, this is Fnatic's game to lose.
If you're upset, you're a very happy guy right now. Not killed in this game, playing against the player who replaced you on Carmine Corp. Now, really being the superior AD carry in this game. Kalist has been very much targeted.
Double
by
Lienrys.
Fnatic,
They don't really
but
have any tanks though.
Upset, constantly finding the right angles.
Guess who he's targeting again?
Look for Kalist. Solar Flare comes out, goes
Mickey.
wide, but Mickey just walks back, then
Mickey.
goes in with the Zenith Blade. Void Seeker coming out from long range. Yike looking for that flank. Nature's Grass coming out.
Holy fuck,
Razork
Kalist
still
is
clipped
clicking
by the
them.
edge of it, and Kalist begins to
Wait,
open
Kalist
up,
just
and
sent it.
As I said, he wasn't
Holy
having an
fuck.
impact. Kalist is gonna find 2
Holy fuck,
kills.
Kalist just clicked the shit out of them.
Mickey and Razork are dead in the dirt.
He just
Humanoid
stepped
is
up in
pushing
his
bot
face.
lane.
Fnatic overstepped their boundaries. They tried to put the pressure onto Kalist once more with no summoner spells. He could have been another easy
Right
target,
mouse
but
button. That's a
instead
tier
they
1 as
hand
well. That's
2
an objective
kills over
bounty.
to
Wait, hold
him.
up. There's
Just
no way,
like
right?
that, he feels
Hold
a lot
up,
more confident.
hold
His
up.
Itemization not that different from Upset.
Hold up.
As they unlock that mid-tier 1. KC
Wait a
showing
minute.
that they're not down and out just yet.
Have another look at this because
Kalist just fucking sent it.
Wide. Okay, Mickey then decides to go back in with the Zenith Blade, and they just don't anticipate Yike being here.
I mean, it just becomes a matter of Kana arriving, the TP comes through, Upset realizes very early on that he's zoned away from the fight, and KC, they committed a lot of resources to making sure that this play doesn't swing back in Fnatic's favor, which, given the deficit that you're at, I think is fine. The downside is that Humanoid was given a lot of free reign on the bot
Look at the
side
experience
of the map.
though.
But again,
Upset's
to
2
Vlandy's
levels
credit,
up on
he's
Curlist.
been able to
Oscar's
keep
2
up
levels
in
up
terms
on
of
top.
farm. He's only just short of level 15. The gold is, I mean, pretty significantly different. However, he has completed his 2 major items, so keep your eyes on the bottom of your screen. As this mid
Kalist
tower is now
hasn't
the
based
focus
and
for
spent the
Fnatic.
gold.
Kalist trying to defend. Solar Flare clips him, only gets the slow. There's the
Kalist
equalizer,
dead.
and Kalist will come down
He
on top of
overstepped
it.
way too hard there.
And will go down on top of it too. Upset now on a rampage. Kalist just trying to defend that tower.
Look how much
when
gold
was
he
on
had.
a
He just
sliver
bought
of
BF
HP.
pickaxe in base.
Probably not the wisest of plays, perhaps thinking the rest of his teammates could collapse on Fnatic if they overextended.
Overstays himself and he pays the price. Fnatic opening up the map a lot more now as they immediately make their way into KC's jungle and invest that vision, stealing away what camps they can. Humanoid.
Will he get IE before Drake spawns?
Ramping into this game.
He's gonna run bot probably for the wave. Oh,
However,
TP
KC
top.
set the sights onto top
No
lane.
flash on
Oscar.
Rumble yet.
TP Kana in here. Oscar is overpushed. Kana goes forward. Oscar goes into that overheat. Targamas on his way as well.
Could be a big
Oscar
shutdown
doesn't
for
have
Casante,
flash, so
unless he kills him.
At most he can
Guys,
get one
skill
out of
shots.
this. Dredgeline does go wide, but Kana has enough shields to survive. Twisted advance will root Oscar in place.
Okay.
And there's the kill. Meanwhile, Humanoid gets a tower in the bot lane. Charmed up by Vladdy, but they can't really push any further. They don't know where the rest of Fnatic are. 1 minute on Ocean Soul for Fnatic.
Exactly, so what was used? Kana's TP, Kana's ultimate. His ulti may come back in time, but he's sticking around to make sure that he can push out this wave. He needs
Does
to get
Kalist
back
get
up
IE
to
on
the map,
base?
But I want to highlight
He gets one
this
base timer
minimap.
after the next
Look
wave,
at all
that's
this
it.
vision that was invested by Mickey off the pressure that they had in bot. So much control has already been set up by Fnatic, ready for this Dragon Soul that KC are going to have to claw back. And they're going to need to steal this Drake
Yeah, I don't think he has
in order
it.
to stay relevant in this game.
Importantly, Kalist will have Flash, Cleanse, and Featherstorm for a fight around
Unless he
the
presses
dragon.
B
So
right now, I don't think he
enough
has it.
tools at his disposal
No, he
to
doesn't have
get
it.
away. Yike going for
Well,
Bloodletter's Curse.
send it,
Second
I guess.
on the Maokai here to try and give himself a little bit more damage. Looking for those saplings to really eat through the enemy. Not too many tanky members on Fnatic, so if you can get a sapling down and it just, ticks that damage, can work quite effectively,
The
especially
saplings
since
are
Vladdy's
so
damage
annoying, little rats.
isn't quite there yet with just the Leandries and the Rod of Ages.
Fight for the mid-wave continues. KC get the clear off first. Kalist is so close to his Infinity Edge, but they have to fight now. He doesn't have time to wait, and Fnatic are poised, ready to pounce.
Jump over the wall from Razork. Targamas, double knock, front line and back line split a bit.
Coming out from Kalist, the equalizer not doing too much work, but
Okay,
Targamas
free
is
kill
already dead.
onto
Vladdy's looking for a little bit
the
more.
Naut.
Spur rush forward.
Upset
Razzle
could
down
maybe try and kill the
to
Maokai
about
here.
1,000 HP. Yike still on the chase towards Upset. Mickey and Kana chasing towards the top side. Humanoid goes in.
No flash on Tristana.
Into the flash will get him to safety.
I think that Drake is gone.
Upset keeping Yike at bay.
Yeah, that Drake's gone.
Fnatic should be able to secure this. It will be Soul for them.
Ocean Soul is not insta GG, but it should be one.
Will take the Soul. 26 minutes in, an Ocean Soul to their names, a 6,000 gold lead. Fnatic are staring down a series win versus Carmine Corp.
They didn't overcomplicate it. They just saw someone from KC clearing out a ward, and this Rumble ultimate was just perfectly placed. This is exactly what they need to do. They can't give time for the Maokai ultimate to set up, make it an awkward position. Nice stun onto Targamas to follow up Leona ultimate, splitting the fight into two. The Rumble ultimate doing so much damage.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you can
Rumble
see
ult was
half of
pretty
KC
big.
retreating
It's just the
upwards
front line and
as
the back
Yike
line
retreats
split, so
downwards.
it's really
And the
hard for
moment
Zaya
they
to hit.
split apart, their front to back just falls apart.
Yeah, it really does. Targamas just eating all the damage there. Not much he can do in that sort of situation. Upset now has the Nashes too. 3 items as well, though, for Kalist with that Infinity Edge complete.
And this could be
Okay,
crucial
3-item Zaya,
for
yeah.
KC, because this
3-item Zaya.
really is online now. If he's given
Level
the freedom
16
to
Ari.
dish out the damage, there's a world in
Blue
which
buff,
KC can
Void
turn this
Staff,
game around.
double buff.
The problem is there's still a
Kinda
5.5K
playable. Nah, not
gold
really playable for
deficit.
KC, but
A
kinda
lot of it
playable.
sitting in mid and in jungle. Humanoid
Fnatic can
doing
one-shot
a lot
Baron. They
of
have double
damage
AD carry.
himself. The question is, can KC find the pick that they're looking for as Fnatic set their sights on the Baron?
And remember that Humanoid burnt Kalist's flash at the end of that Dragon play as well, so there's one less tool in his toolbox. So actually,
Zaya is all the damage, and she has no flash.
Right now. There is a Scuttlecraft.
Bro, Mickey just presses ult on whoever fucking blinks at him.
You'd followed up on anything there.
He's crazy.
Isn't going to be able to find anything.
Like, where the fuck is that engage?
From Mickey.
Nice vision control once again from
That Scuttle Crab is doing
Fnatic.
work.
I mean, we heard from Razork, their objective setup was very poor.
I think there's a
in the
ward on
second
Baron,
game.
isn't there?
That's
It
why
just
it slowed the
expired.
game down a lot. This time, much better, following the correct steps, pushing in that top wave. Humanoid now regrouping with the team. KC
Yeah, there is a
still
ward on
have
Baron.
specks of
You see
vision
it?
here and there, especially thanks to the saplings. But Fnatic taking
Oh, it's
their
pink.
time, looking for a member to overstep.
No one doing so yet for Carmine Corp. Targamas might be the one. Razzle going for him. We'll get the stun.
He has flash. Maybe he lives here actually. Ooh, that Maokai ult's pretty solid as well. But Kalist can't hit. Kalist can't hit. It is 1 for 1 though, which is not that bad. If Mickey dies, no he doesn't. That's Baron. He has red buff and Ocean Soul. How much is he going to heal? I wonder if he could just stay. Doesn't matter though.
Kalist wasn't able to get a single auto attack off in that fight. It was a very awkward position for KC to fight from. And Fnatic, they just wanted the pick. They wanted to create the numbers.
What was that damage burst onto the Maokai? Was crazy or what? I thought Cassante would die for fucking Leona, but
because Kalist really couldn't get involved in the fight, it was a guaranteed victory for Fnatic. Keep your eyes on Kalist. He's still in the mid wave. He only now just arrives after his front line gets torn apart. He realizes that
Cassante dead, but Maokai gets one shot here. Look.
Too scared to approach.
What? Tristana just 3 auto attacks killed him with an Eon.
He's forced to retreat. Or actually, maybe he got knocked back there by Humanoid.
Buster shot, yeah.
But Fnatic, they got what they wanted. Baron,
maybe
quick, decisive play, a significant turnaround from what we saw in Game 2.
It really is. Now with an 8,000 gold lead and Baron at their backs for 2.5 minutes.
Solid drafting from Fnatic today,
and
not gonna lie.
Very strong position to start pushing in towards these inhibitors. TP to the top lane from Humanoid. He's going to join Oscar in on the push over here. The next wave from Upset in the mid lane on its way as well. Carmine Corp have done a good job of clearing out the wave in top, and only Upset here in mid means that he can't really push too much further, all on his lonesome. Fnatic just gaining control over that blue side jungle and letting the minions do the work. The wave's not synced up as well as Fnatic would like, but now with 4 members on top side, they should be able to take this tier 2.
Fnatic slow and steady does it. They've moved Upset over to mid.
Is it unlosable? Bro, it was unlosable since minute 1. This draft is fucking OP.
Split push pressure he has, but they're keeping with the main team.
Nature's Grasp.
Can they just charm this Leona and kill her?
And he does. Yike goes in with the
bro, look at that one-shot Yike is. It's crazy, no? He's killed so quick from the Tristana.
With the killer instinct, doesn't even need to as Targamas falls to Humanoid. Upset now targeting that mid lane inhibitor tower. The next wave in top lane, well on its way.
GG easy.
Well. Upset will take the mid lane inhib alongside Razork. Fnatic will take the top side as well.
Solid day by Fnatic, solid games. Game 1 was, I still think their draft was OP, but top was fucking inting.
Fnatic.
But Oscar cleaned it up quite quick.
Clinical execution as they set their sights on the Nexus. They flash in.
Kalist cleanse flashes away and will escape. Root caller, blade caller.
Simple game.
Damage down onto Razork. Mickey going forward again.
Well played.
Is burnt alive. The second Nexus tower falls. Kalist with the feather storm, but it does not do a damn.
Oh my god, Daddy one-shot
from Fnatic. A surprising game from Fnatic as they'll secure the win over Carmine Corp.
Okay, Fnatic won. Big win. Big win from Fnatic. They need that shit. They need some pace up in this split. Humanoid played really well in that last game. Game 1 Fnatic was a bit disgusting. I don't know if they were warming up or some shit.
They solidified their authority.
But now they're Barak big time.
Impressive performance.
Upset hugging his homies.
Great stuff from Fnatic. We asked after game 1, would they be able to bounce back from losing to SK, then losing game 1? Well, bounce back they did. You can vote for one of them in your Kia player of the series. Vote Razork, Humanoid, and Upset are your options. I will say,
big win for Fnatic.
In that last game.
All right, that was a fucking amazing day of games. From T1 to fucking BLG and IG to DK and fucking KT and Fnatic and KC. Today was a great day of games. Oh my god, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the LTA. You guys can check out the LTA. It's gonna start. I don't know when it starts. Probably in like an hour or some shit. If you wanna watch some NA gameplay, some NA League of Legends. I'm gonna piece it though. I'll be back probably soon. Maybe tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow we have LEC. What the fuck? Okay, Monday's LEC, right? So I'll be back tomorrow for LEC. Yeah, easy. Tomorrow there's also Lost Ratone scrims. There's Lost Ratone scrims, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your days, nights, mornings, evenings, wherever around the world. Take care, sleep well, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your everything. Shout out to all the lurkers, the bidders, the gifted, the chatters, the subbers, the donors, the resubbers. I appreciate you all for coming out. If you've been here since the beginning of the stream, get some help. You need some help if you've been here since the very beginning of the stream. You're ill. Check it out a bit. Here's a big kiss. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, chat. Remember, no, how No matter how strong the storm is, the wind will come and blow it away. Fact. Bye. Chat, it says I can't raid Crowny because there's too many viewers. Can you fucking leave? Can you leave? Can you leave? Hello? Can you leave? Can you leave? Okay, whoever's like AFK or fucking still got the stream open for some reason, or like DC'd or whatever, or didn't Alt F4, you're going over there. Bye! 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 Bro, what is going on in Crowny's stream? His fucking camera's not even in the right screen. Bye! Bye! Bye. Okay, bye. Bye. Okay. Okay. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Thank you for supporting the stream. This is a special shout out to whoever stayed from the raid and from the song. Here's an extra kiss.